But the teams are in the tunnel at Blundell Park, where Grimsby are taking on Manchester United. 55 places, 3 leagues apart. Can we see a cup shock this evening? Grimsby have got off to an unbeaten start in their League Two campaign. As for Manchester United, they're still seeking their first win of the season. Can they get that tonight and begin a cup journey that they'll hope might end in success for Ruben Amorim? Let's hand you over to your commentary team then. It is Dean Ashton, who's alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Natalie, and a very good evening to you. Welcome to Cleethorpes on the banks of the Humber for the biggest game here in years. Blundell Park stands as it has for more than 125 years, hemmed in by residential streets. The terraced houses just a stone's throw from the beach, all towered over by the double-decker Ramsden stand at this wonderful venue, largely unchanged for generations. In fact, we're here in the heart of the oldest stand in the English League, built in 1901, just before Manchester United last won here. Ordinarily, the stadium stands in serene silence aside from match day, only the incessant chattering of bored seagulls disrupting proceedings. But it couldn't be more different tonight. Supporters all around us in their black and white striped shirts, conjuring up a stirring atmosphere. They've beaten Liverpool and Spurs in cup competitions in the 21st century, and tonight they eye up United. These are the two teams. Grimsby, Christy Pym in goal. Back four of Rogers, Warren, McJanet and Sweeney. McEachran anchoring the midfield. Burns, Green, Corey and Vernon. And Gardner is up front. On the bench, Staunton, Brown, Sunset Bell, Kabia, Torrey, Rose, Odwar and Orton. Manchester United and Nana in goal. Heaven, Maguire and Fredrickson the back three. Dallo, Ugarte, Mainu and Dorgu. And then Ahmad and Cunha in support of Sheshko, who makes his first start for the club. And on the bench for Manchester United, Delict and Leon, Casemiro, Fernandez, Mount, Burmo, Zirkzee. And the substitute goalkeepers, Altai Bayanda and Tom Heaton. We'll bring you the whole game live from Blundell Park, kicking off very shortly. Don't forget, over on Talksport 2, Everton against Mansfield, delayed kick-off. That kicks off at 8 very shortly. We've already heard about Fulham's opener against Bristol City. The deadlock broken at the Kassam Stadium as well for Talksport's Ian Abraham.
Oxford 0, Brighton 1. Oliver Boscagli has scored. It was a ball into the right-hand side of the penalty area to his left foot. He's tried to curl in. It might have taken a slight deflection, but it's gone beyond Ingram. Oxford 0, Brighton 1.
And we'll keep you updated with the goals in all of the games tonight, including Rangers trying to get back from 3-1 down over at the Jan Breidel Stadion against Club Brugge. It's a special night here, though, Dean Ashton.
It is, it takes over the town, a game like this. Absolutely packed out here at Blundell Park. And it's about hope, isn't it? For a team like Grimsby. Just the hope that they can pull off a massive upset that this would be.
Well, Grimsby's most famous son is arguably Rod Temperton, the musical genius who made his name stateside in the heart of the disco era. Tonight his hometown's ground to a halt the focus of the footballing world. So what will we get? A thriller? Maybe. A night they'll remember always and forever. Most definitely. It's going to be Grimsby, black and white striped shirts, kicking from right to left in this first half. And they're attacking the Osmond stand that houses the travelling Manchester United fans away to our left. The referee tonight is Tony Harrington, who sent off Bruno Fernandes the last time that he officiated United. That was at Wolves back on Boxing Day. And the roar tells you that we're underway. And Grimsby in really good form at the start of this season. They've taken 11 points in the first 5 league games. He should have more than that. Should have won at the weekend. They're excellent at Accrington in what ended up as a 1-1 draw. No surprise that they're on the front foot here from the off. They get a throw taken by Sweeney. A nudge back to McJanet, whose centre-half partner Warren then booms it forward. Another long ball towards the edge of the penalty area that Green goes up for. It's mopped up just outside his own penalty area by Cunha, but as he pokes it forward, he's given it away to McEachran. Ball on the right-hand side of the area is just a little bit too hot for Vernon, coming in from the left wing. But 50 seconds in, already the Manchester United backline has been turned. A very good start by Grimsby Town.
And exactly what I would have expected from David Artell, which is get the ball forward quickly, flood the penalty area, pick up the second balls, which they've done already, get it wide and get balls into the box and really test this Manchester United defence with Maguire in the middle of it and two young kids alongside that he's got to help through the game, but really test them defensively early on.
That Fulham goal is now credited as a George Tanner own goal. They lead Bristol City 1-0. Brighton a goal up at Oxford. Here it's 0-0 as Manchester United's turn to attack with Dorgu laying it back just outside the penalty area. High ball that is clipped in a little bit too high and hot for Ahmad, but he's run round it and swept it back, finding Fredrickson, who has started on the right of the three centre-halves for Manchester United. Ball in from him to Ahmad, and then Vernon comes back. Contact was inevitable, and the Grimsby Town winger has given a free kick to United, which will be taken about 9 yards outside the box, right of centre.
I mean, they're going to be really tested, Grimsby, defensively, because Ahmad is so sharp when he gets the ball and positive in taking on defenders and drawing a foul as he did do there. Cunha's a fantastic talent, and Shesko, if he stays in between the width of the penalty area and just constantly looking to be a threat in behind.
So Grimsby have got a two-man wall just outside the box. Vernon and McEachran, all of their teammates back behind them, one in the D, the other 8 in the penalty area itself, as the ball is clipped in by Cunha into a really dangerous area. It's just a little shove though from Shesko on one of the Grimsby players. It's Corey that's gone down, and it's a free kick just inside the 6-yard box for Grimsby Town. It was a ball into a really dangerous area. It wasn't too high, but it turned that Mariners back line as they retreated. Shesko attacking it, but he couldn't get there, and the ball had dribbled wide anyway before the foul.
Yeah, not an easy free kick to defend, was it? Just played in behind the defence. Not much pace on it either, trying to deal with that. Just bowing down to head it into the floor, and then Manchester United player couldn't get on the end of it. But if you're Manchester United and you come into these games, any team of an elite level, you are by far the more talented players. If you can match the opposition for desire and work rate, then your quality should shine through.
Should and if, yes, being two operative words in that sentence, I think, and that's nothing against this Manchester United team, but that is the litany of shocks that we've seen in cup football over the years. And Grimsby, as I mentioned earlier, knocked Holders Liverpool out at Anfield back in the 2001-2002 season, held them to a goalless draw through 90 minutes, and then scored twice with Marlon Brooms and Phil Jevons to give them a famous win at Anfield that night. No, it wasn't that long after that they beat Spurs here 20 years ago, almost to the week, with JP Kamadimba Kalala scoring an 89th minute winner. It's eminently possible. And Grimsby in the more recent past haven't reached round 3 for 6 years, and when they did, they were whacked 7-1 at Chelsea. No survivors from that playing tonight. Here they come forward again, Grimsby, down the left-hand side of the area. Gardner chopping it onto his right foot, chipping it in, and a dangerous ball that Heaven can half clear. And then they'll be able to pick it up again, Grimsby down on the left-hand side with Vernon. They're trying to find a long way round. He's done well to get it to Sweeney. Sweeney on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Can't hit the byline. He's checked back in. Another left-footed ball inside the penalty area is headed away by Maguire, and it goes out of play for a Grimsby throw. Another goal at Oxford for Ian Abrahams.
Bruder, who missed an absolute sitter about 10 minutes ago, has fired in Brighton's second. Oxford 0, Brighton 2.
And the ball out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Grimsby left-hand side by Sweeney. 0-0 here at Blundell Park. 5.5 minutes gone. A really good start from the Mariners, who are currently 4th in League 2. And ultimately this season is all about them getting promoted and returning to the 3rd tier, where they haven't played for more than 20 years. But if they can have a couple of big nights en route, then that's what it's all about. McEachran in possession. Deepest lying of the three central midfielders. The brother of Josh McEachran. Play back towards the edge of the penalty area before McJanet looks long, but it's overhit and goes out of play past Corey for a throw that will be taken on the Manchester United right. 0-0.
Well, of course, they're trying to pressurise and keep the intensity and the tempo high. Grimsby, and it's about Manchester United just riding that out, trying to get hold of the ball, show their quality. And of course, you're always going to look at that midfield, aren't you? And how does it look with Ugarte and Mainu? That would be my first choice in those positions for Manchester United against the three of Grimsby.
So Manchester United trying to bring it forward again, and they can get it wide towards Dorgu, linking up the play. Dallo making a brisk run towards the far post. If they can get it to him, it's gone back for Šeško instead, whose right-footed effort is really well blocked. Another effort coming in from Cunha on the edge of the penalty area, and Green got in the way of that, and the loose ball goes through for Pin. There's been another goal. It's at Craven Cottage. Here's Talksport's Ollie Klink.
The second, a bouncing corner from the right from Harrison Reed. Jimenez took a touch inside the box and fired home. Fulham in control. It's Fulham 2, Bristol City 0.
And a goal in Bruges as well. Here's Paul Mitchell.
And it's bad news for Rangers. Bruges 1, Rangers 0. Nicolo Tresoldi into the starting 11. Netted with a nice diving header just 6 yards out, beating Jack Butland at his post. Rangers in all sorts of trouble now, Jim. Bruges 1, Rangers 0. 1 in aggregate to the Belgian side.
Could be a long night. Could be a long season. Here's Cunha. Now he's lost out. Grimsby picking the pockets at 20 yards outside the Manchester United penalty area. Ball chipped in towards Corey. Didn't quite get there. And United are going to be able to bring it away on the right-hand side with Dallo. But he can't clear Sweeney with the clearance. Another ball inside the penalty area from Corey. Gardner preferred to Kabia leading the line tonight. And he's attacked that and has been able to keep it in. But the offside flag is up against him. Well, 8 minutes in, and Manchester United will have seen 8 minutes that they were anticipating, truth be told. Grimsby going toe-to-toe with them. There's a real intensity about the Mariners that would have been highly anticipated. And United at times struggling to deal with that and giving second ball away inside their own half.
Yeah, look, trying to play themselves, aren't they, in such a tight area when the opposition are right at you, rather than trying to just maybe clip that into Šeško or Ahmad and Cunha to go in behind. And because of that two in midfield, what the young centre-backs are going to have to deal with is runners from midfield. So Corey already and Green have both made a run each onto the young centre-backs, and they've dealt with it well.
It's 0-0. 9 minutes gone. Still the major drama of the night lies ahead of us here on TalkSport, but plenty of drama in the early stages at the Jan Bridal. Here's Paul Mitchell.
And it's Rangers who are in trouble again. Not a goal they've lost a man. Max Allen sent off. Straight red card, denying an obvious goal scoring opportunity, pulling down Christian Tzolis. He only has himself to blame. He got the wrong side of him. Simple long ball through, and after 8 minutes Rangers are a man down and a goal down. Not the dream start they were looking for.
Paul, thank you. So it's Club Bruges 4, Rangers 1 on aggregate at the moment. Over on TalkSport 2, they're underway between Everton and Mansfield. Fulham and Brighton 2 up in their respective games against the EFL opposition. This one has got very little between the two teams. Grimsby have possession again on the left-hand side with Vernon. Vernon's ball forward, easily intercepted, and Ahmad trying to find a way past McJanet, who just stepped across from centre-half towards the touchline, got there to clear. Collision between the two players was inevitable, and Ahmad has stayed down hurt right in front of us.
Yeah, it was clipped down the line, wasn't it, by Fredriksson towards Ahmad, who hadn't checked his shoulder to see that McJanet was there. McJanet could see it all the way, knew he was actually going to win the ball first, so could take the ball and just clean Ahmad out at the same time. It's a heavy blow for Ahmad Diallo, but took it, he's up. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, good challenge by McJanet, the former Stoke apprentice, who actually made his name playing with Derry City. He scored in his last League Cup tie, which was home defeat at this stage of the competition, this time last year to Sheffield Wednesday. Sat out round 1, victory for Grimsby against Shrewsbury, but recalled tonight. into the League Cup side. He was a mainstay of the league team. There's Dorgu coming in off the left flank for United and buzzing into the heart of their midfield for a moment before finding Fredrickson. Just a third Manchester United appearance for Tyler Fredrickson tonight. He goes back to Onana. Onana sweeping it long upfield. And Šeško coming to meet it. It's come off the top of his head and goes straight through for the Grimsby Town goalkeeper. Pim, we're 11 minutes in. Grimsby 0, Manchester United 0 here on Talksport. Big night for Mainu and Onana, amongst others, of course. But you think that those are two players that desperately feel that they've got something to prove to Ruben Amorim. Both will feel hard done by with the lack of game time that they've had so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely. To not have taken to the field as yet hurts. Of course, he does as a player and adds pressure to this game when you're then given the opportunity. But if you're going to play for Manchester United, there is pressure on your shoulders all the time.
Sweeney's ball inside the area. Gardner was offside. His header is comfortably saved by Onana anyway, who catches it and then whacks it straight upfield. It's a great ball out. Šeško busting it, got to get through the penalty area. Couldn't you try to play it back to him? McJanet's there to sweep up again. Back outside the Grimsby box, but Manchester United winning the seconds. Kobbie Mainoo's got it. Man who scored an FA Cup final not all that long ago. Laying it back for Harry Maguire. Now Aidan Heaven, the 18-year-old, wearing 26 for United in their traditional red and white tonight. They're bringing the ball forward. Mainoo again, chipping it down the right-hand side of the area where Dalot can control the ball on his upper chest. Right-footed ball in from him. And an attempted header from Cunha, from Bruno Fernandes, I beg your pardon. Just coming inside the penalty area is blocked. Back out for Ahmad to Mainoo and down to Dalot again. It's level with the edge of the Grimsby box. Dalot in his blue boots controlling it, laying it back for Fredrickson. The centre-half spreading wide for United. It's a something or nothing ball from Mainoo back for Fredrickson. He did really well to scamper back towards halfway and keep it in. Stop it going out of play for a Grimsby throw. Maguire now links up the play and Heaven can bring it forward. But he and Dorgu just got in each other's way over on the far touchline, the United left. And he's gone out of play for a Grimsby throw.
And there will be a little bit of that. Of course there will, with players that haven't played together regularly. Heaven and Dorgu there, just miscommunication. But it was good play to get the ball out towards Diogo Dalot. Decent cross in towards Cunha. And the header was blocked brilliantly, but there was another moment when Onana on the side volley, great ball over the top for Cunha, who's got the pace to get away from defenders. And again, just looking for his striker, who'd made a nice little holding run to the penalty spot, but was blocked again.
Cameron Gardner's just won a free kick on halfway for Grimsby as he tried to turn the United back line. Elsewhere in the Champions League tonight, Karabag have already gone through to tomorrow's draw. They lost at home to Ferencváros, but they've gone through on aggregate, and Benfica lead Fenerbahce 1-0 on the night and the same scoreline on aggregate. As Corey drifting out of the Grimsby left, tries to play the ball forward. Good 1-2 between him and Vernon, and Grimsby get the first corner of the night.
Well, it was just a simple worked ball down the line. Just played in and then just flicked over the top in behind Fredrickson, who was a little slow on the uptake, and Corey just causing a bit of an issue for the young defender.
So in comes the corner from the Grimsby left. It's really deep and very nearly in. Onana was scampering back and he just got fingers to it to tip it away from the top right-hand corner. He was very close to being embarrassed there. He's put it out for another corner.
Well, of course, he's trying to deal with the bodies in front of him and then quickly backpedals to that far post. He does well to get up and pat it away and then fall into the netting himself. It's good goalkeeping from Onana.
So another corner, this one on the Grimsby right. Swung in, another in-swinger, left-footed. It's Aidan Heaven that got his head to that. Comes out to Corey poking it on. And then it was Warren who was up there, just stuck out a right foot, tried to divert it past the Onana. He couldn't get any pace on it, really. and he goes out of play for a goal kick. Let's go back round the grounds, find out what's going on elsewhere. Our first visit of the night to the Hill, Dickinson. Everton against Mansfield. Here's Steve Hothersall.
It's Everton 0, Mansfield 0. Decent atmosphere for a cup tie, the first in Everton's new stadium. Over 5,000 Mansfield fans decked in yellow, enjoying a big occasion and watching their team keep Everton at bay. Best chances falling to Charlie Alcaraz. Barry nearly found the perfect ball to him. Alcaraz running direct on goal. Cargo came to the rescue. 5 minutes later, Alcaraz again, lovely dribble, shot from 18 yards out, pushed out for a corner. Goalless though, Everton 0, Mansfield 0.
United bringing the ball forward. Ahmad, right-hand side of the Grimsby penalty area, just tried to nutmeg Sweeney, but he couldn't get on the end of the ball. And then McEachran overplaying a little. He hadn't got too many options, truth be told, but he tried a backheel flick down the touchline, and he didn't have too much room to work with. It's gone out of play for a Manchester United throw, which Dallow will take 0-0.
Yeah, really good work from Kobbie Mainoo in midfield there. That's what he gives you, that skills on the ball, just to dribble past a midfielder, and then that athleticism to get away and find a pass that Ahmad couldn't take advantage of.
Harry Maguire bringing the ball forward here for Manchester United, a player who was in the United side when they last won this competition back in 2023. One of 6 times that they've won it and beat Newcastle on that occasion. The 5th time they've won it this century. Fredrickson back for Maguire again. Maguire bringing it towards the edge of the centre circle and turns, finds Fredrickson once more. Fredrickson through towards Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo to Dallow. Dallow back for Fredrickson. He's got plenty of time just to work the ball square to his left-hand side for Maguire. Ruben Amorim is pacing up and down, just trying a little bit of fine-tuning. He tells Dallow to make a brisk run in behind Sweeney down the right-hand touchline, but the ball has gone the other way. Worked out to the Manchester United left, but overhit for Dorgu. And he goes out of play for a Grimsby throw. Back to Craven Cottage, Fulham Bristol City. Ollie Clint.
It's Fulham 2, Bristol City 0. Bristol City have just had a goal ruled out for offside in the build-up, but Fulham very comfortable here, Jim, playing some lovely football at time. Just now, Ryan Sessegnon floated in a beauty of a ball to the back post that no one flirted with. Bristol City have had a spell of possession, Mehmeti with it in the back of the net, but ruled out for offside. It's Fulham 2, Bristol City 0.
Strong challenge coming in the heart of the midfield. Grimsby able to get it away. Kobbie Mainoo. And then forward towards Fernandez. Fredrickson to Dallow. Dallow taking it on and can't find a way past Sweeney, who's done well to deal with the threat. Gets it back for Christy Pym, who reached the 4th round of this competition with Mansfield a few years ago. Big handball shout against Maguire. Looks as though they had a case. Gardner's done well. He's worked it down the left-hand side of the area for Burnham, and then Maguire is across to block him off as well. Just stood a red brick wall on the left-hand side of the box. Burnham ran into him. No foul, according to the officials. McJanet then heads the ball away. Sweeney can bring it forward down the Grimsby left. It's 0-0 with 19 minutes gone. His ball forward towards Corey. Corey to Burnham. It's in his second spell here. Back towards Sweeney again. Maguire again just stands firm, pokes it clear, but the Mariners building up ahead of steam.
Yeah, and it'd just been a couple of minutes where you felt it had dipped away, hadn't you? And Manchester United keeping good possession, slowing it down, and then they'll have another burst, Grimsby. Maguire couldn't quite deal with Gardner, who was upsetting him when he was trying to win the header, but he made amends. It was a really good challenge on the edge of the area.
McEachran for McJanet. Now Warren trying to get the ball out towards the right-hand side for Harvey Rogers, but it was easily read. Dorgu slides it out of play for a throw that'll be taken over on the far side. I think to people of my generation, that will always be the Findus stand over on the far touchline. But officially these days, the Ramsden's family stands much the biggest of the 4 completely different stands here at this wonderful ground. As I mentioned earlier, it's an old-fashioned ground in as much that it is right in the heart of a residential area. Very few are these days, but this is. And it's just an idiosyncratic place to watch football. A quite brilliant venue. It's been treated to a really good game so far through the opening 20 minutes, where Neither goalkeepers had a particularly difficult save to make. Onana had his heart in his mouth dealing with a corner, but other than that, it's been largely chanceless but very watchable. United inside their own penalty area, play out with Heaven doing well to receive the ball and get it forward through the midfield for Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo square through the midfield. Fredrickson. A poor touch by Ahmad. He rescued it with a better second. He's then run into Ugarte and hurt him. And Green gets it back, finding Gardner. Gardner out towards the right-hand side. Chance for Darren Burns to get it in. Vernon with a shot and a goal! It's 1-0 Grimsby Town! A mistake in the Manchester United midfield, and it has been brutally punished. And here in North Lincolnshire, the dream is very much alive. Charles Vernon rifling one in with his right foot, beating Onana at the near post. Manchester United on the back of a horrible season last time round, and a difficult start to this one, where the performances so far have been better than the results, but they haven't got going here, and they've been punished. The shock is on. Grimsby 1, Manchester United 0.
And it's exactly what a cup tie needs, such as this. Grimsby going in front. The start they'd made, the intensity that they had, especially in midfield where they won it back against Manchester United. Ahmad and Ugarte getting in each other's way, taking advantage. Grimsby whipping that out to the right hand side, and then Burns does brilliantly to spot Vernon on that far side, played it right the way across. The first touch from Vernon is absolutely sumptuous, just cushioned it beautifully with the outside of his right foot in front of him, and then he just lashes it towards the near post. It goes past, I think it's Fredrickson's leg, and then Onana falls back into his goal. Rather than to the side, he falls backwards and is past him before he can even move. What a moment for Grimsby and Vernon.
And the Grimsby Town supporters all around the stadium giving their assessment as to a potential long-term job prospects on the Manchester United bench. They're bobbing up and down away to our right-hand side in the pontoon stand, jumping up and down. The Grimsby supporters, several of them having whipped their black and white striped shirts off in delight, wheeling them round their head in celebration. Charles Vernon has played more games for Grimsby than anybody else on the field tonight. He's only a 1-7 man through his Mariners career, but that is a moment he will never forget. Grimsby 1, Manchester United 0 here on Talksport. And work for United to do. You and I talking off air before the game, hypothesising about this very situation, and it's a time then for the United players, some of them only young, with an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old in the back line. They've got to stand up and be counted now.
Yeah, they have. And what you can't do is take an age on the ball. They were too slow again. Everything's got to be done quickly because you know the opposition are going to be at you.
It's been given away. Cunha able to bring it forward for United. In a central position, he's ridden a couple of challenges brilliantly, lays it off for Ahmad, opens up the angle, left-footed shot. Pim can make a comfortable save. He just got down onto his knees, brought the ball into his body. And there's Grimsby players not featuring tonight, just a couple of rows in front of us, and immediately there's a gesture, just calm things down. The hand's been pushed down towards the ground. It's time now for Grimsby to try and take the sting out of the game, if they can. They've won all 3 games that they've played here at Blundell Park so far this season, but if they win number 4, it will make headlines right across the footballing world. They lead Manchester United by a goal to 0. Here's Fredrickson, bring the ball forward for United, over the halfway line for Ahmad. Ahmad to Dallow. Dallow coming in off the right flank, plays it back for Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo to Fredrickson, controls it with the studs of his right boot. Play down towards Mainoo again. Fredrickson can control it and lay the ball back neatly. You know, even the great and the good Manchester United managers of the past have had horrible moments in the League Cup as United bring it forward again. Šeško flighting it in deep towards the far post. Really good header down by Rogers, and then a foul by Ahmad on the edge of the D. Corey going down, it's a free kick to Grimsby. I mean, United haven't lost to lower division opposition in either cup for a while, but in this competition under Sir Alex, they were beaten by York 30 years ago, a 3-0 defeat at Old Trafford. They lost to Southend back in the 2006-2007 season. The day they signed Angel Di Maria under Louis van Gaal, they went to the MK Dons and lost 4-0. So there is a litany of some significant League Cup defeats in the past. But it's not going to make this one hurt any the less. If, and it is a massive if with still 65 minutes of the game to go, they do end up on the wrong side of this. Rodgers trying to make his way forward down the Grimsby right as lost possession, gone out of play for a throw. So we'll find out what's going on elsewhere. To the Kassam, Oxford against Brighton. Here's Talksport's Ian Abraham.
Still Oxford 0, Brighton 2, but chance at both ends. Might be another goal here for Brighton. Oh, good save by Steele. By Ingram, but the flag was up anyway. Oxford 0, Brighton 2.
So Oxford 0, Brighton 2 there. We'll be back to Everton and Fulham presently. Rangers trailing in Belgium by a goal to 0 and 4-1 down on aggregate, down to 10 men as well. Shesko's got the better of Warren and he can run towards the edge of the penalty area here. Right footed shot's probably going wide. McJanet got a right foot to it to poke it clear, and then Corey will do the rest, whacking it forward towards Gardner, but the youngster who's just declared for Scotland is flagged offside, and it's a free kick which will be taken by United about 10 yards inside their own half. Some very dark, threatening skies away to the western side of the ground, away to our right, and it's a pretty dark, threatening night for Manchester United as things stand at the moment as well. And Vernon, the goal scorer, can bring it forward. And he's got Green making a run through the middle. Vernon will take it initially down towards the corner flag and then checks, works the angle, gets it past Dallow, lays it back for McEachran. Left-footed ball clipped in by McEachran. Good delivery. Chance for Gardner to try and bundle it over the line. Has he gone in off the inside of the post? It has, but via a hand. And it's disallowed. There is no VAR in these League Cup second round ties. I don't think there are too many complaints from the Grimsby players.
No, exactly. I think that says a lot that not one of the Grimsby players is complaining to the referee. It was pretty obvious that it struck an arm in there as it was about to be cleared by Manchester United, but it was another threatening cross. And again, defensively, they've looked very shaky and allowed too much space for the two young centre-backs to deal with.
Now the ball is chipped over the top. The Gardner trying to get a left-footed shot in from a tight angle. And smacked it straight into Fredrickson, who's just behind him. Vernon's got it again. Getting to the byline. Low skidding ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Swept away for Grimsby's third corner of the night. You with Talksport, Jim Bradford and Dean Ashton talking you through the action. It's Grimsby 1, Manchester United 0.
Well, at the moment, Manchester United defensively aren't organised. There's no communication or connection between Fredrickson and Dallow and Heaven and Dorgu and the back three, and they're able to, at will at the moment, Grimsby get space out wide, which is causing Manchester United problems when the crosses are coming in, and that's how the goal came about.
Darragh Burns is just in position for this to be knocked short to him, and the corner has been played short, then worked back for Vernon, and then another in-swinging delivery. Oh, Nana has got nowhere near it, and I think it's McJanet that has got the touch to poke it over the line. We're only half an hour in. It's Grimsby 2, Manchester United 0. The selection of Andre Onana was one of the headline-making pieces of team news. He's got stuck in traffic there, got absolutely nowhere near it. The ball bounced down inside the 6-yard box. It's toe poked in, and Grimsby lead Manchester United 2-0. And if the shock was on before, it's well and truly alive now.
I mean, the ball in is so dangerous in such a great area. There's so many bodies in there. Andre Onana, there's no point in coming for that when there's so many bodies in the way. He just got battered away. And then he just fell perfectly for the Grimsby players. McJanet was in there. I think it was Warren in the end that just tapped it in, where the goalkeeper was nowhere to be seen. And this is real trouble now for Manchester United.
Grimsby 2, Manchester United 0. Kobbie Mainoo inside the centre circle. Dallow, it's a great take, right hand side of the penalty area. He's pulled it back for Ahmad. Warren credited with the goal. It was he that got the last touch. There's just the flash from a bolt of lightning away to our right hand side over the pontoon stand. Now for Ruben Amorim, it never rains, but it pours. Fredrickson back for Maguire. And Maguire laying it back for his goalkeeper, Onana, who's done his long-term job prospects at Old Trafford. Absolutely no favours there whatsoever.
No, he hasn't. I mean, look, it was difficult for us to even see what happened. You've got the Grimsby players that aren't in the squad right in front of us that just jump immediately as Onana missed that. And I think it then must have hit a Manchester United player and just dropped for the Grimsby players who could have been offside, but it doesn't matter. But the goalkeeper's fault for coming and getting nowhere near it and then not being in his goal to make a save, and it's a tap-in. It was a poor decision from Onana.
Fredrickson back for Ugarte. Now Harry Maguire able to come forth. 31 gone, it's 2-0 to Grimsby. Ball inside the area, Šeško with a shot and pin equal to it. Relatively comfortable stop, diving away to his left. He'd have been very disappointed had that beaten him at the near post. And it remains 2-0. Šeško's got a really outstanding record in domestic cup competitions in his career in both Austria and Germany. He's played 15 ties in domestic cups and scored 13 goals, including one in the Austrian Cup final when he was just 18. But this is the kind of night when, if you've got a £66 million price tag, you have to deliver. It's all about the service into him at the moment. They've given him a couple of half chances.
I think he's looked sharp. He has actually looked sharp. A couple of good moments. Flicked it over the defender's head, got away, made a nice run down the channel. The ball wasn't great. That run there where he takes it nicely and gets the shot away. Been a couple of good moments from him individually, actually.
Green taking a throw down the Grimsby right, getting the return ball. He's been fouled, and it's a free kick to Grimsby, 8 yards from the corner flag. Half-time at Oxford, Ian Abrahams.
And it's Oxford 0, Brighton 2. Boscagli curled in the first. Second fired in by Gruber. But I have to say, it's a great saves by Steele at the other end as well. Oxford 0, Brighton 2.
And a goal in Bruges, Paul Mitchell.
It's come for Club Bruges. They now lead by 2-0. Hans Vankinen from a corner. Simple header beat Jack Butland. 2-0 on the night. 5-1 to Bruges on aggregate.
And Rangers down to 10 men in that game as well. 2-0 to Grimsby here, and another attacking set piece for them. This is going to be inside that 6-yard box where there are so many in black and white, hoping that Onana will have another horrible, nervy moment and maybe get stuck in traffic again. Rogers makes a darting run. It was hit deeper towards Gardner, but really well headed away by Aidan Heaven. That was a powerful header which is mopped up near halfway by the Grimsby back line and worked all the way back for Christy Pym, the former Exeter and Peterborough and Mansfield keeper, whacking it right-footed out towards the far touchline. It's a good run round the back of Dorgu from Burns, but actually the Danish international did well. Shepherd the ball over the line down by the corner flag for a throw. 34 gone, Grimsby 2, Manchester United 0. What does Amorim need to say to his players to get more out of them in an attacking context?
Well, you need to be braver, of course you do, and you need to do things quicker. You've got the ability to, but you need to do it quicker than they have done because they've allowed Grimsby to close them down and win the ball, as Dorgu just sends one almost over the top of the stand. And also the quality needs to be better, of course it does. That's now, I think that's 5 times Manchester United have kicked the ball out of play just through poor quality, and that's simply not good enough.
2-0 to Grimsby. Half-time at Craven Cottage. Ollie Kling.
It's Fulham 2, Bristol City 0 at the break. A George Tanner own goal on 8 minutes put them in front before Raul Jimenez fired home a second midway through the half. Fulham in full control. It's Fulham 2, Bristol City 0.
So the Premier League sides in action tonight. Fulham 2 up, Brighton 2 up, Manchester United 2 down, and Everton still being held at home by a Mansfield side who've won 4 in a row coming into tonight. And is goalless at Hill Dickinson, a game that is live over on Talksport 2. Free kick here to Grimsby. In fact, let's go to Merseyside and find out what's been going on the last few minutes there, Steve.
Well, it's Everton 0, Mansfield 0, with Jack Grealish at the heart of some big moments in this game. First of all, superb ball from him, teed up Dwight McNeil, who shot over the bar. Then a minute later, Grealish himself, the culprit, fed in virtually the same spot. He blazed over himself. He should have scored. Mansfield off the hook. And then Grealish to Harrison Armstrong, who should have scored himself. He's the first Scouser to play here at the Hill Dickinson. He was clear on goal, shot straight at the keeper. It's still goalless. Everton 0, Mansfield 0.
So goalless there, and it is live over on Talksport 2. McJanet has just come across to have a word with the Grimsby boss, David Artell. And McJanet is now free at the far post if Grimsby can work the ball in towards him. He's now taken up station in a more central area. Peels around the back of Dallow, who's actually let him go. The ball works short. Opportunity for a left-footed effort from McCacker, who was well struck, but he had so many bodies to get it through that he stood no chance really. It was clear. Goes back out of the Grimsby right-hand side, where Burns will get to the byline. Ball in that took a deflection through the 6-yard box, but United with time to get it away, and it'll be cleared down towards Ahmad. Well won back though by Sweeney. Sweeney to Vernon, the scorer of the first Grimsby goal, and he has won a throw. That last free kick incidentally that Grimsby had, Fredrickson was the player that committed the foul. He's gone in the book, the first yellow card of the night. With 8 minutes from half time here, Grimsby 2, Manchester United 0. Sweeney, ball off Sheshko, and out of play for another Grimsby throw.
I mean, they're fitter, they're sharper. They look a team that really know what the manager's asked of them and understand it. And then you've got a team in Manchester United that are none of those three.
Sweeney. Ball worked out towards Burns. First time ball swept in from him. Dallow could have left that. He was going to go out of play for a goal kick. He immediately, having headed it behind for a corner, says, well, I didn't get a shout. But it is another Grimsby corner, and we've already seen how dangerous these set pieces can be. It'll be taken on the Mariners' left as they look for a 3-0 first half lead.
It just adds to it, doesn't it? Just adds to the pressure. Manana did make a shout, just wasn't listened to.
Low ball in towards the near post, probably the worst of the corners so far tonight for Grimsby. It's easily cleared. Cunha now can guide the ball out towards the left-hand side. Dorgu making his way forward again. Sheshko is waiting. Sweeney's got an eye on him. Can Dorgu find him in towards the near post? Or Sheshko got a head to it. It's actually under pressure from Warren, come off him and gone out of danger rather than in towards the 6-yard box. And Grimsby get it away. A thumping challenge coming in. Just put Dorgu on the deck. It is going to be a Manchester United throw, but Dorgu is still very much feeling the effects of that challenge.
Yeah, he has been a threat down the left-hand side, Dorgu. Just looking for a little bit better quality. That wasn't a bad ball in, but he only had Sheshko in there to aim for, who had 3 defenders on him. There was no one else that was up there busting a gut to get into the penalty area. You have to. Cunha, Ahmad, you have to be getting in the box.
More flashes of lightning. And Manchester United hoping for a flash of inspiration. Dallow getting the ball, trying to take it past Sweeney, who's caught him. And it's a free kick to United. Almost level with the right-hand edge of the box and about 9 yards outside the penalty area. 2-0 to Grimsby. Dallow being helped back to his feet. Cunha standing over this. And Cunha, who has never won a League Cup tie in his career. He played in 3 with Wolves and lost them all. And he just adjusts the placement of this free kick with his left hand. 2 in the wall again. McEachran and Vernon. Maguire amongst those up. Is another ball into a dangerous area, which took a deflection off a Grimsby player into another one. Went back into the 6, but it's cleared. Another ball in from Cunha. That one well volleyed away by Warren from the heart of the defence. Now it goes out towards Dorgu. Dorgu 10 yards outside the Grimsby box, which is still very densely populated. Back for Kobbie Mainoo. Mainu thinking about letting fly. He's clipped a right-footed crossing and a left-footed overhead from Ahmad. Was well saved by Pim. Wouldn't have counted though, because the offside flag was up anyway. Pim then allowed to play on, had the ball in his hands, and he bowled it out really quickly for Vernon, just a little bit too quickly. Charles Vernon chasing after it, fell over the ball in his attempt to control it right on the left-hand touchline, and it's gone over the line and out of play for a throw. 4 minutes to go to half-time. 2-0 to Grimsby. Cunha fouled. Now, wanting to take the free kick quickly, was prevented from doing that by Corey, and couldn't hide his frustration. Instead of working it over the top for Šeško, they've taken a slightly more conservative build-up as the ball goes out towards the left for Aidan Heaven. Now Dorgu getting towards the edge of the penalty area. Back for Kobbie Mainu. Mainu is 20 outside the box. He's chipped it right-footed. It's controlled superbly on the right 5. Diogo Dalot stands up a ball towards the far post. Heads go up for a Pim with a stunning stop. Šeško powering a header down towards the bottom left-hand corner. And Pim threw himself at it, took the pace out of it, and then was able to gather at the second attempt. Still, Manchester United trailing by 2-0 here at Blundell Park.
Yeah, now that's a big chance for Šeško. It's a really good ball in from Diogo Dalot to the back post, and he just gets up Šeško. He gives a little nudge to the defender in the back, gives himself the space to then head it clearly towards goal, downwards to Christy Pim's right-hand side, but the power wasn't there and the direction wasn't accurate enough.
Sweeney with the ball down the left-hand side. Maguire coming across has been able to mop that up. Really neatly gets away from Gardner and finds Anana. Anana to Heaven inside his box. His first touch wasn't great. His second touch was just a high up and under clearance. Looking for Ahmad. Sweeney beat him in the air, but it's then headed by Green. Straight out of play for a throw on the Manchester United right. It's another goal in Belgium for Paul Mitchell.
And it's another goal for Bruges. Shokan says has made it 3-0. His first effort saved by Butland, but he got the follow-up. 3-0 to Club Bruges, leading Rangers 6-1, now on aggregate.
Manchester United bringing it forward here. Dorgu, low ball in towards Šeško at the near post, and it's knocked away again easily by Warren, the scorer. The second Grimsby goal. I'll tell you something, the sports bar is going to be a fascinating listen tonight on my drive home. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy taking your calls. 03717223344, the only place on national radio you can have your say for 3 hours tonight. The sports bar with the boys. If it's a Manchester United defeat, and at the moment it could well be, what will the reaction of the United fans be? Will there be any positives at all? Here's Dalot across the edge of the penalty area for Ahmad. Ahmad lays it back for Ugarte. Ugarte down towards Kobbie Mainu. Dalot now coming in off the right flank.
Well, you know Jason Cundy will be gargling salt water as we speak.
Here's a right-footed shot coming in on the edge of the area from Cunha, and by the time he eventually fired it in, it took a deflection and spins away, goes out for a throw. Yeah, has anyone seen? Could be legendary even by his standards tonight. Also tomorrow, the sports breakfast, Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbonlahor between 6 and 10 tomorrow morning, and then White and Jordan, of course, between 10 and 1 as the ball is clipped aside the penalty area, but easily headed away by the Grimsby backline. Oh, Šeško coming back on the end of a Grimsby touch. Ugarte then trying to get a shot in, and then a ball intended for Ahmad was overhit Mainu, almost trying to force it through the midfield, and it's gone past everyone and out of play for a goal kick. And we're nearly at half-time. It's Grimsby 2, Manchester United 0.
And they've just regressed slightly, haven't they? The energy levels have dropped from the Grimsby players, looking to see this out to half-time. Manchester United have been better, sharper with their passing. But I've got to say, Grimsby have been outstanding on the edge of their area. The blocks that they've put in already, from the likes of Šeško, Cunha, Ugarte, it's been really important for them to keep the ball away from Christy Pim.
Well, if it's been a bad first half for Manchester United, it's nothing on how bad it's been for Rangers. Paul Mitchell.
Well, it's a fourth goal on the night for Rangers. It's the second for Jokin Says. Unmarked to the far post. Absolutely brilliant volley. Just stepped in. They're doing a quick VAR check for offside, but I think this one is going to stand. It's a horrible night for Rangers. 4-0 down to 10 men, and they're losing 7-1 on aggregate.
Yeah, bad night for Rangers. And that would take their record to 3 wins in 10 games under Russell Martin. Onana clearing the ball over the halfway line. Shesko, all 6'5" of him, coming back to meet it, flicking it on towards Mainu. Dallow can then work it forward. We're in 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half here in North Lincolnshire. Ahmad again. Down towards Mainu. To Dallow. Dallow coming infield, 5 yards in for the right-hand touchline, playing the ball through towards Ugarte, to Heaven. Excellent pressing from the front from Gardner. Force Maguire back inside his own half. Now worked for by Fredrickson. Cunha has it. Cunha briskly playing the ball into the feet of Kobe Mainu. Shesko tried to turn into trouble. Warren stepping up from the defensive line with Shesko. And then Corey, claiming he was fouled, has lost possession. And United can bring it forward again as they try and halve the deficit before half-time. Not long to be able to do that. 40 seconds of stoppage time to go. Ahmad for Dallow. Left-footed ball curved in, and Pym comes to meet it at Yorker length. He did well just to get his hands down underneath the fast-dropping ball. And that's going to see Grimsby through to the break with a 2-0 advantage.
Yeah, and the one issue they have had in forward areas, Manchester United, is Cunha and Ahmad have both wanted to come short, have not been in the area when those crosses have come in, so there's only Shesko in there, and there isn't a midfield player making it into the penalty area, or Dorgu. That's a big issue if you've got good possession and get the ball wide, if you've not got players running into the penalty area.
Listen to this roar that signals the half-time whistle. Ruben Amorim took over on the 11th of November last year. And over 44 games, he's had some horrible moments, some torrid days and nights. But this is right down there. Manchester United of the Premier League, trailing League 2 Grimsby by 2-0 at the break. And they can have very few complaints. Blundell Park rises to its feet. 3 stands standing and applauding. A brilliant first 45-minute performance. Is tonight the night that they write themselves into Mariners folklore? It's looking that way at the moment. And what would that do for Amorim and for Manchester United? At the break, it's Grimsby Town 2, Manchester United 0.
My. What a first half there for Grimsby. The last time Manchester United started the League Cup in the second round, you have to go back 11 years, and they were ousted at that point of the competition. So is history about to repeat itself? Let's get the first half thoughts from our co-commentator Dean Ashton, who, like me, maybe a little bit dumbstruck by how poor Manchester United were in that first half. Dean?
Again, you look and you think, do they not understand, or has it not been made clear enough to the players what was expected from this Grimsby side when they came here? You know, in terms of, they're going to be physical, the intensity's going to be there, they're going to be direct, you know, they're going to swamp your midfield and try and win the ball there and get it wide. It's like they didn't realise that was going to be the case, and they weren't ready for it and were caught off guard almost for at least the first 20 minutes, when they really struggled, Manchester United, to keep the ball at all. And then by the time you've got used to that, you've conceded 2 poor goals, and you're trying to work your way back into the game, which they did and had a few moments. But you can't be that far off in terms of your desire and work rate and effort in those first 20 or 30 minutes against a side like Grimsby. That's what shocked me, as if they weren't ready for it.
And you look at that second goal in particular, with Andre Onana being given the opportunity to start this game, having missed out on playing in those 2 Premier League games so far. I mean, does himself no favours, nowhere near it when he comes to try and collect the ball from a corner, which leads to Tyrrell Warren tapping in against the club where he started his youth career at. I mean, Onana himself, they're going to be asking questions once more about him.
Well, yeah, look, it's a useless bit of goalkeeping from Onana. I mean, if you're going to come and try and punch in a crowded area, you better make sure you do, because ultimately it's led to the mistake that's cost them a goal. And And, you know, it wasn't particularly fantastic goalkeeping for the first goal, where he's fallen backwards into his goal rather than sideways or forward towards the strike that's coming towards him. And it's that pressure, isn't it? It's that, can you handle the pressure when you then get the opportunity to start, and he hasn't been able to.
Dean, do you think Ruben Amorim might be questioning the decisions he made with his starting lineup?
No, he'll just be really disappointed that they've allowed themselves to be bullied by Grimsby and allowed them to dictate how the game has gone, certainly in the first 30 minutes. That's what will disappoint him. Ultimately, he has got players on the bench, so he can change things if he feels that way. But certainly, if they're going to come out with the same side as they did in the first half, then there's going to have to be a lot more effort and desire and aggression from Manchester United if they want to get back into the game.
I mean, looking at the bench, they have obviously Mason Mount there, Bruno Fernandes, Joshua Zirkzee and Brian Mbeumo, just to pick out a few. I mean, those are the sort of players that in some ways you imagine Ruben Amorim wouldn't want to bring on, because they would have wanted this tie to be done and dusted already, but his hand may well be forced.
Yeah, of course he will have wanted to manage minutes and give others more minutes in this type of game. Would have hoped the game would have been a different situation. But look, they're not the first team, high-profile team to be in this type of position in a cup competition, and it can be turned around. And they will tire Grimsby. They won't be able to keep the intensity that they have done. Manchester United have to believe with the quality that they've got, you get back into the game, you get that first goal, and actually come out of this with the right result and be able to forget about it all tomorrow.
Dean, for now, thank you very much. Grimsby then the happier of the two sides going in at the break, 2-0 up. They have truly unsettled Manchester United at Blundell Park. Let's bring you the half-time scores from two games that kicked off at 8, and it's been a sorry evening for Rangers in their hope of trying to book their place in the Champions League proper. Paul Mitchell.
I've seen, but I do not believe. Rangers being beaten 5-0 at half-time. And if there was any debate whether Russell Martin was going to be under pressure as Rangers manager, believe me, he's now under pressure. 5 minutes gone, Rangers were one down. Nicola Tresoldi got the goal, simple header, beautifully done from across on the left-hand side. And then for some reason, 3 minutes later, Max Aarons decided to pull back Christos Tisoulis. He knows why. Red card. Rangers brought on Tavernier. Anwant went off so they could keep a back four. It worked for about the next 20 minutes, but then Hans Vankinen with a header from a corner to make it 2 after 32 minutes, and then 3 goals in the final 5 minutes. In 41 of 45 goals from left back Jokan Says made it 3 and 4, and then Alex Stankovic in stoppage time at the end of first half rifled the ball home to make it 5-0. Rangers 5-0 down in the night, 8-1 on aggregate. It's a long way to go still. This is horrible stuff from Rangers, and Russell Martin. Be very interesting to see how he explains this one. At the moment, Rangers 5-0 down, 8-1 down on aggregate.
Paul, thank you very much. Yeah, a sorry evening for Rangers. Everton against Mansfield. It was delayed kick-off. It ended up kicking off at 8 o'clock. It's half-time there. So how did that first half finish up, Steve Hoddesall?
It's Everton 0, Mansfield 0. Everton should be in front, and Jack Grealish really should be involved in a goal, but the Blues are not clinical enough. Big chances wasted. They've dominated the ball and the chances as you would have expected, but McNeil, Grealish, Harrison Armstrong, all with massive opportunities that have come to nothing. Very wasteful. Mansfield off the hook, but they are resilient at the back, and they're frustrating David Moyes' side. And at the end of the first half, they were the ones pushing forward. There could still be a shock on the cards here, but at half-time, Everton 0, Mansfield 0.
OK, just to let you know, it's underway here at Fulham against Bristol City, as it is at Brighton. Brighton, who are taking on Oxford at the Kassam Stadium. Looking good for both Premier League sides. On the way, we will bring you the second half then of Grimsby against Manchester United, with the Mariners 45 minutes away from a giant killing.
Transfer Insiders on Talksport with Ladbrokes. 18plusgambleaware.org. Kick-off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. 18plusgambleaware.org.
I'd never driven electric before, but wow, the MG4 EV blew me away. And when I heard I could save up to £4,750, I was sold. Get £1,500 off with the MG-funded EV car grant, plus £3,250 manufacturer deposit contribution on 0% APR when you finance with MG Motor Financial Services. Book your test drive today at mg.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Registered by September 30th. MG Motor UK are a credit broker and not a lender. PCP with 3 options at the end.
With multiple markets on all of the action, Zackers and odds, whatever your passion. Build your own bet on a small local derby, and there's live in-play betting if you're late to the party. Sign up is easy on all your devices. Exclusive promotions and bet-boosted prices. In the know punters are sharing this tip. Get the king of the app pack. Talksport bet, it's a hit.
18 plus, gambleaware.org.
At this vet, Mia's the owner, surgeon, rota manager, and puppy wrangler. And now she and her team are cybersecurity experts too.
Mia, someone tried accessing our system. Phishing scam. I blocked it.
BT Security Awareness Training turns your team into your first line of defence. Quick to set up from just £1.25 per user per month. Cybersecurity is everyone's business. Thankfully, not just Mia's. Search BT Business Cybersecurity. T&Cs apply. Prices exclude VAT at 20%. 12-month minimum term applies.
This season, LiveScore Bet is bringing you more ways to win with our weekly promotions. Take VAR Payout, where we settle goal scorer markets on Premier League matches as winners, even if the goal is chalked off by VAR. This applies to both singles and bet builder legs, because LiveScore Bets love rewarding goals, not taking them away. Don't let the review get in the way of you celebrating. LiveScore Bet, total betting. Pre-match single, multi or bet builder bets on selected player markets on English Premier League only. Paid as a winner if goal is ruled out by VAR. T's and C's apply. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Oh, bad traffic. Great news, isn't it? More time in the car. Joy. Maybe you don't feel it. Maybe you don't drive a Lexus NX yet. But when you do, you'll see the positive of peak hour, the delight in a detour, the love of the long way. The Lexus NX plug-in hybrid. Experience amazing before you arrive.
Whatever kind of football fan you are, Talksport and the Coral Daily Download are here for it to celebrate the fans every day. Whether you're a front row seater or a prawn sandwich eater, a half-and-half scarf wearer or a lifelong faithful torchbearer, a retro shirt for every game or bare-chested, even in the rain. For all the latest news, reaction and odds this season, don't miss the Coral Daily Download. Every morning from 6 on Talksport with Coral. We're here for the fans. 18 plus, gambleaware.org. King of football commentary. Kick-off live on Talksport. Chance for Darren Burns to get it in. Vernon with a shot and a goal! It's 1-0 Grimsby Town! Another in-swinging delivery. Oh, Anana has got nowhere near it. And I think it's McJanet that has got the touch to poke it over the line. We're only half an hour in. It's Grimsby 2, Manchester United 0.
This is Kick-Off, and we're bringing you Grimsby against Manchester United in the League Cup, where it is all looking good for the League 2 side. 2-0 up at half-time. You wonder what will be happening in that Manchester United dressing room right now. Will we see changes? Just as we begin this second half, we will find out shortly for you. But let's bring you the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. You build it. We give you a totally free bet this week and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Well, right now in the 90 minutes, you can get the win for Grimsby at 17 to 20 odds on then for Grimsby. The draw is 11-4, and if you're thinking Manchester United can turn it around, well, they're a best price 5-2. Matheus Cunha is in that starting 11, but it's been pretty quiet really going forward for Manchester United, apart from towards the ends of that first half. And if you think he might get on the score sheet in this 90 minutes, he was best priced odds on 11-8. That's now been boosted to 11-10 if you fancy that one. That was the latest odds with Ladbrokes. It's 18 and over, gambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. You build it. We give you a totally free bet this week and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
So a cup shot is on the cards at Blundell Park currently. There are two Premier League sides in action right now, the second half kicking off with Brighton at Oxford and Fulham hosting Bristol City. Let's get an update from Craven Cottage with Ollie Klink.
Almost an hour gone. It's Fulham 2, Bristol City 0. Fulham almost made it 3 just now, Natalie. The ball was rolled to Adama Traore on the right-hand corner of the penalty area. He fired a shot towards goal, but I think it might have ended up in the Thames. It was that high and wide. He had a very similar chance just before that. It was well saved by Lumley in the Robbins goal. Bristol City have made a change at half-time. Mark Sykes is on for Ross McCrory. They're giving it a go on the counter-attack, but so far there's been a clear gulf between these two sides. It's Fulham 2, Bristol City 0.
And what about at the Kassam Stadium? Ian Abrahams.
And we've just had another goal. It's Oxford 0, Brighton 3, game over. A corner, and Diego Gomez has forced it home. This after goals in the first half. Boskagi had a shot which was deflected in, and Gruder had a shot which from 8 yards out beat the goalkeeper Ingram, who's just been beaten again by Gomez, and that surely is game, set and match here. Oxford 0, Brighton 3.
Ian, thank you. Let's bring you back to Blundell Park, shall we, where Grimsby are leading Manchester United by 2-0. Dean Ashton is on commentary for us this evening. And Dean, we were talking about how poor Manchester United have been in that first half and what changes we could possibly see from Ruben Amorim. Bruno Fernandes, Brian Mbeumo, Matthias de Ligt warming up. Are those the kind of positive changes you might expect?
Yes, they're recognising that something needs to change and drastically and quickly, and bringing on those type of players and that sort of talent, I think is warranted after that first half performance, because this would be a damning defeat for the manager, and I think he's realised that with the changes.
Right, well, we'll see what happens then, and if those changes do come to fruition. The second half is about to get underway, so let's hand you back to your commentary team. Dean Ashton is alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Natalie, thank you. It is a triple change for United. De Ligt, Fernandes and Mbeumo coming on. Ugarte, Fredrickson and Dorgu are the players that have come off. So those change again. De Ligt, Fernandes and Mbeumo for Ugarte, Fredrickson and Dorgu. We're back underway. United red shirts, white shorts, get you from right to left. De Ligt playing at centre half, taking Tyler Fredrickson's place. The 20-year-old, was booked in that first 45 minutes. Bruno Fernandes playing in the heart of midfield, is taking Ugarte's role. Dallo has come out to the left-hand side now. And Ahmad has dropped back in at right wing-back, which is where he started at the weekend at Fulham. So Mbeumo and Cunha in behind Šeško. Run through both teams for you in a moment as Hayden Heaven brings the ball forward here. And getting away from Dara Burns, running towards the edge of the Grimsby penalty area. First time ball in from Dallo, very deep one, volley back in by Mbeumo, coming onto with the flying header. It's knocked away. It was Cunha's attempt, and then Heaven couldn't pick up the loose ball on the edge of the box, and Maguire has got Gardner sprinting after him, but Maguire had enough of a start to be able to watch that one over the left touchline and out for a Manchester United throw.
Well, there's no real excuse now, is there, in this second half? You brought on Bruno Fernandes, your captain, and you put Mbeumo alongside Cunha and Šeško, your three massive attacking signings from the summer. So can they get themselves back into that with this sort of talent?
Here's Cunha wearing 10. Clever flick round the corner from him to Brian Mbeumo. At least it was well intentioned, but the recent signing from Brentford had no chance really of being able to get there, and it's gone out of play for a goal kick which will be taken away to our left. 2-0 to Grimsby with a couple of minutes gone in the second half. David Artell looks really calm, standing down in front of us, delighted quite clearly with what he's seen. He's in a consultation with Sean Pearson. He was a player in a relatively big FA Cup shot back in the day, a part of the Shrewsbury side that knocked Everton out 20 odd years ago. Here's Green getting it forward, and a better ball might have had Burns in with a potential chance for 3-0, but he played the pass too straight, and the Nana came out and gathered.
Well, what the changes haven't done is He's closed up any gaps in midfield. Bruno Fernandes almost playing as the deeper of the two. Kobbie Mainoo slightly more advanced, but even more space, as always, in the midfield for the three of Grimsby. And it was Green that time that was a spare man, able to push forwards and almost play Gardner in.
So this Manchester United side, with the three changes that have been made, now has 5 of the players that started the 1-1 draw at Fulham at the weekend. 10 of the 11 on the field for United are internationals. They've got a combined 364 caps. So he's made changes. This isn't a reserve team that is 2-0 down at Grimsby at the moment. A great desire again from Corey, who's in there strongly. The ball goes out of play for a throw over on the far side. The only Manchester United player who's not an international who's on the field at the moment is Aidan Heaven. Well, the electrical storm that had been threatening about 10-15 minutes before half-time is now here. The thunder and lightning might have gone. The rain is coming down in bucket loads. The ball is with Matthijs de Ligt over on the right-hand side. He controls the ball, plays it to his left-hand side for Harry Maguire, who takes a touch and plays it straight back again. Now de Ligt. Long straight ball forward through the middle. Right back Rodgers heads it away for Grimsby. Šeško controls it with his back to the direction of play. They're waiting for Mainoo to take responsibility. He couldn't get there, and Corey nudges it away. Plays it out of the Grimsby left-hand side for Vernon, the scorer of the first Mariners goal. They got 2 in 8 minutes in the first half. Ball in now for Green. Green taking his time, he's knocked his square, and it's bundled wide by Burns. Sliding change comes in the nick of time, I think, from one of the United players. But it was played in by Green, and Burns was waiting. He was 8 yards out, and he didn't make good contact with it. And he scuffed off the United foot and gone wide. And had that gone in, it surely was all over.
Oh, it should have been 3-0. He's 8 yards out. Ball just played across to him. No real pace on it. He's just got a side foot into the back of the net, and he just bobbles it. And it must take a tiny deflection, but that should have been 3-0. Where was the Manchester United defence? Harry Maguire went steaming out to the right-hand side, got nowhere near it, left his teammates 4v2.
Corner's taken short, whacked inside the area by Vernon. And then after an awkward bounce, Maguire can head it away. It's another ball back in. Burns is going to have a second opportunity to deliver. Well, having brought it under control, he's then lost possession. And Bruno Fernandes tries to clear down the left-hand side. Not made a particularly good job of that. Grimsby coming again. Vernon, right-hand side of the box, clipping it back in, but only finding a man in red. And United able to bring it forward. And Dallo with a good, strong run. He's come forward some 40 yards. Plays it to his left for Brian Burmo. And he will make his way forward, the French-born Cameroonian international. Then Cunha linking up the play, works it out towards the right. The rain comes down with increasing ferocity. Ball slid in through the 6-yard box. Great sliding chance to knock it away. And then the subsequent shot flashes wide past the far post of Christy Pym and out of play for a goal kick. 2-0 to Grimsby. Deadlock broken at Hill Dickinson. Steve Hothersall.
Everton 1, Mansfield 0. Perfect top corner finish from Charlie Alcaraz. Finally found the top corner of the net from 10 yards out. The Mansfield rear guard has been broken. Everton 1, Mansfield 0.
So Everton lead Mansfield. That's live for you right now over on Talksport 2. Here, 2-0 to Grimsby. 6 minutes into the second half. And both sides will feel that they should have scored in the opening 6 minutes of that second period.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, really good play by Manchester United down that right-hand side. A ball slipped down the side for Cunha, who whipped the ball in to the 6-yard area. I've got to say, McJanet, it was a magnificent clearance as Šeško was about to just tap in from in front of his goalkeeper. We've done that a few times already in this game. You've got to, because Manchester United will create chances.
Kobbie Mainoo works the ball out towards the United right. Ahmad's going to be able to control it just down by the corner flag. All he could do, stop it going out of play for a goal kick at the expense of a throw. Another goal in Belgium. Paul Mitchell.
Christopoulos Tzolis has scored 6-0 on the night now for Club Bruges against Rangers, who are 9-1 down on aggregate and are on the verge of their worst ever result in European football. That's how bad it is. Bruges leading 6-0 on the night.
6-0 on the night and 9-1 on aggregate, as Paul was saying. Benfica leading Fenerbahce by a goal to nil. That's the same on aggregate. Copenhagen leading Basel 1-0. And it's 2-1 to the Danes on aggregate. And they, as things stand, will be going through to the draw tomorrow. Karabag already through today, earlier beating the Hungarian side Ferencváros. We'll have news of that draw here on Talksport tomorrow. Not sure we'll have dried out by the time they make that draw, because this storm is biblical. And Ruben Amorim, pacing up and down on the edge of his technical area, is sodden. The ball is with Brian Burmo over on the Manchester United right. Play back towards Bruno Fernandes. Right footed, clipped inside the penalty area. An opportunity potentially for somebody to bring it down. Slides through the box. And Grimsby are going to be able to bring it away. And the rain is coming down so quickly. There's a danger now potentially of pools of standing water on the pitch. Ball played forward for Gardner. Gardner inside the penalty area. Wanting to cut back inside. Maguire came across, covered well. He's ended up conceding a corner. But for about 5-6 seconds there, it looked as though it was going to be much worse than that from a Manchester United perspective. The flag stayed down, and Maguire, just in consultation with Matthew Wilks, the assistant referee, as to whether that was the right call. But Gardner was in. Maguire did well to hold him up.
He did eventually, but Gardner should have taken advantage of that. He was in behind, he was offside. Maguire had a point, but still, if he was more direct there, got out of his feet and took the strike when it was there, could have been an opportunity. Maguire just about got back.
It's 6 corners without reply to Grimsby. This one isn't going to be worked short. Left footed, straight inside that penalty area where Rodgers and McJanet were both forward, and Anana couldn't get anywhere near it. Now United are going to be able to bring it forward quickly. They cleared. McJanet and Rodgers both sprinting back to take up their place in the Grimsby back line. They have rediscovered their defensive shape. 9.5 gone second half. Manchester United trailing by 2 goals to nil. It would be their 50 feet in 7 games either side of the summer break. But their inability to keep a clean sheet will exasperate Ruben Amorim. They've only kept 3 in the last 17 matches. Burma. Is Bruno Fernandes playing the ball forward through the midfield. Now towards the edge of the penalty area, Cunha is there, but Grimsby are going to be able to knock it away. Gardner, well, he got himself back onside that time, but when Burns played the pass, he did so, anticipating that Gardner was going to continue that initial run.
Yeah, they're just a little bit eager, aren't they, to get that ball forwards, hoping that Gardner can get in behind again. But this weather is outrageous. The rain coming down, it's starting to take effect now in the way that the ball is moving on the pitch.
Or not moving. Cunha tries to find his way through, and aquaplanes towards the edge of the D, having been caught. And it's a free kick here to Manchester United. I think there will be a few North Lincolnshire guttering contractors who will be getting in contact with the club tomorrow, touting for a little bit of work. You remember in the Euros, you remember Dortmund, the Westfalenstadion, where it just came down in absolute fountains. Well, it's happening just away to our left-hand side. And, of course, very close to Ruben Amorim. It's just one of those nights for him. But he's not quite in the firing line of it. United fans away to our left, to their eternal credit, still clapping, jumping up and down and singing, trying to encourage their side back into this game. They trail 2-0. Burmo's going to take this free kick. Raises his right arm above his head. Hits it in. Left-footed towards the penalty spot. It's travelled a long way. It's a diving header that went just over the bar. Plenty of players in there to attack it. And the diving header has cleared the bar. Not by much from Aidan Heaven. And out of play for a goal kick to Grimsby. Another Brighton goal at Oxford. Ian Abrahams.
Oxford 0, Brighton 4. Stefano Simas has come off the bench on his debut to score. Played through the middle. No mistake against the goalkeeper. Oxford 0, Brighton 4.
Yeah, tough start to the season for Oxford, who've lost all 3 games in the league and are crashing out at home tonight, albeit against a Premier League side. Burns just given a little shove, got back on his feet, has laid the ball back for Rodgers. Rodgers back towards the right-hand touchline again. Another high ball in from Burns towards the far post, and a Header powered into the ground. It was Vernon that met it, but it bounced up and went straight through to Onana. Onana desperate to get the ball forward as quickly as he could. And he just shanked it out towards the right-hand touchline. Would have run straight out of play for a throw after one bounce had it not been for all the rain that we've had over the last 15 minutes or so. It just did catch one of the pools of standing water over on the far side. Still went out, though, for a throw to Grimsby, who are just over half an hour away now.
I mean, again, surely it has to be a worry that Grimsby are still able just to create chances and half chances and balls into your penalty area. You would have expected this second half just to be all Manchester United, and it hasn't. It's been very much even.
2-0 Grimsby here, 1-0 Everton lead Mansfield over on Talksport 2 as we give you a choice of live listening again tonight. Our next live action is on Talksport 2 Friday night. Leicester against Birmingham, an intriguing championship tie. Heaven caught ball watching. Gardner will make his way down the right-hand side. That's gone out of play. And it will be a throw which will be taken by United in their left-back position, but they just played round the back of Aidan Heaven, who was just caught with a moment's hesitation, and it was very nearly costly. It's out of play for a United throw. 2-0 to Grimsby.
I know I keep going on about the Manchester United midfield, but it's such an issue, and it's an issue because they haven't got the back three right in terms of one of them has to go. At Sporting Lisbon, under Ruben Amorim, one of the centre-backs would jump out, become that third player, put the pressure on the opposition midfield. They don't do it. They just leave the two on their own against three players.
Fernandez with an excellent long diagonal out towards the right-hand side. They've tried to get a delict cross inside the Grimsby penalty area, but that's knocked away. Fernandez again, picking it up over on that far touchline. As the rain begins to abate, diving headed clearance was an excellent one from McEachran. Mainu. Back for Bruno once more. Takes it on a touch. Tries to get away from Green. The right-hand side of the box. In towards De Ligt. It's a very congested penalty area there. Now Cunha trying to get it through a crowd of players. Couldn't. And then Maguire defending a long way up the pitch. Stopped Gardner turning, but in doing so has fouled him. And it's a free kick to Grimsby about 15 yards outside their own penalty area. Another goal at Oxford, Moose.
Another goal for Stefano Simas. What a signing he could be. Oxford 0, Brighton 5. All played into the penalty area. Confident finish. This boy looks good. Oxford 0, Brighton 5.
Yeah, he's arrived with a big reputation. Just kept under wraps for the first couple of league games at Simas as he adjusted to a life in England and got himself match fit. A good start for him tonight. Played an hour here at Blundell Park. Grimsby 2, Manchester United 0. Heaven beaten by Green on the right-hand side of the box. And the ball has gone out of play. They love Green here. Zinedine Zidane, they call him.
Brilliant.
A player that made his name in non-league football with Blythe Spartans and York and Halifax. He had to be patient and wait for his chance with a professional club, but he's more than taken it. He scored a very late winner against Newport here 10 days ago. Grimsby making easier weather at Manchester United tonight so far. A ball with Mainu trying to work it in towards Burmo, but that's easily knocked away. McEachran has gone down off the ball. Hands out to the referee, who is unmoved, and play goes on. Burmo again. Ball out towards the right-hand side of the box. The flag is up. And the latest Manchester United attack is curtailed. It looks as though there are going to be some changes made on the Grimsby bench very shortly. Mason Mount is being called back by Manchester United.
Well, yeah, if Manchester United's supporters are tuning in. I mean, Grimsby have actually rested players, by the way. They've actually rested a couple of their usual starters, their top scorer, and have still been a real match for Manchester United, and deservedly still got their lead. Manchester United haven't shown enough yet. That's a great ball from Fernandez, though.
Out to the left. And Cunha running towards the edge of the penalty area. Sheshko with a little layoff, and Burma with a shot that's deflected. It will come back on the left-hand side of the penalty area again. They look for Cunha, and the sliding challenge knocks it away. Double change imminent for Grimsby. Geza Toure, the Faroese midfielder, is going to be coming on. Now we're going to see Henry Brown, the 18-year-old, will be introduced as well. Here's Dallow. Dallow played back for Aidan Heaven. 62 gone. Manchester United 2 down away to League 2 Grimsby. De Ligt works the ball out to the United right. Comes into a more central area now for Fernandez. Let's fly. Good save. Fine stop by Pym. That's his best moment of the night so far, because that came through a crowd of players. He dived down to his left, got a strong hand behind it to stop it going out of play for a corner, and then could gather at the second attempt.
That's a proper save. Christy Pym, really, really good. Almost used the slick surface, didn't he? Like a water slide, just to shoot himself across the goal. Brilliant, firm left hand right next to the post. Bruno Fernandes with a fantastic strike. And the goalkeeper with a great save.
Well, the first change that is being made is the withdrawal of Charles Burnham, who scored the first goal, and 18-year-old Henry Brown is coming on to replace him. So that's a straight swap, and a straight swap in the heart of midfield as well, as Kieran Green, the captain, makes way for Geza Toure. Big ovation for Green as he leaves the field. He's so popular in these parts. Grimsby 2, Manchester United 0. And a third round place for 6 years is very much on the cards. United also making a change, and Aidan Heaven has come off, and Mason Mount is on to replace him. So Mount for Heaven, Dean Ashton.
Yeah, Mount has he gone to left wing back? We'll just have to wait and see if that is going to be a shuffle in the back line. Well, Dallow looks as if he might have gone in as the left third centre back, and Mason Mount as a left wing back.
So it's Mount at left wing back, Ahmad at right wing back, and De Ligt, Maguire and Dallow are the three centre halves for United at the moment. They've got Bruno Fernandes in midfield alongside Mainu, and then they've got Cunha and Burmo in off Šeško. That's the Manchester United side at the moment.
Might it be a good idea to just shuffle the system? You know, just if you're going to bring on another attacking player, do you need 3 centre-backs back there against this Grimsby side? Do you? I'm not sure you do, but again, it's, as he talked about, sticking with that system regardless.
Well, Grimsby just playing one up. Gardner has a clever little chest trap from him. Almost flicked the ball past Maguire for the run of Toure. Bruno Fernandes gets it out towards the United right-hand side. Ahmad coming forward. More plumes of spray being kicked up by the players' boots as the ball is fired inside the box. Šeško trying to make life difficult for the left-back Sweeney as he came across, tried to make a darting run in front of him, and the ball has been put out of play. There's a Manchester United ball over on that far side. Is it a throw or a corner? And it is a throw, so they still haven't won a corner yet tonight. 20 minutes into the second half here on Talksport. Grimsby 2, United 0. United can have few complaints. Grimsby missing a glorious opportunity early in the second half to make it 3. De Ligt forward from the back. A low right-footed effort that's easily blocked. It goes out of play. Off Gardner for a throw that will be taken on the United left. He has run and run and run. The Geordie leading the Grimsby line tonight. And in place of the top scorer, Jace Kabia, who's only on the bench, the former Truro City man, is Bruno Fernandes. To his right-hand side for Brian Burmo. Now ball in from that far touch line, and well headed away by Rodgers as Ahmad's delivery threatened to cause problems with 2 United players coming in behind the right back, and Rodgers did well but concedes the first United corner of the night. 2-0 Grimsby.
And ultimately, despite all of the great work and the brilliant defensive work that Grimsby have had, this is when you're going to be tested this next 30 minutes or so. Manchester United need to recognise that and just keep the momentum there.
In comes the corner, it's easily headed away. Ahmad's touch, not great, but he can find Brian and Burmo. And Burmo digging his left foot underneath the ball, arcing it towards the far post. Grimsby again with enough bodies back to be able to clear. It was McJanet that steered that one to safety. And now the Mariners working it down the line, and here's young Brown trying to take on Bruno Fernandes. It took two to stop him, but Bruno and Cunha between them could stop him. De Ligt will bring it forward. De Ligt out towards Mbermo. United midway inside the Grimsby half. Midway inside the second half as well. Still trailing 2-0. Here's De Ligt. And a rising drive clears the bar.
There's good play from Mbermo on that right-hand side. Just drew in a couple of Grimsby players. Waited for De Ligt to make the movement. And then just fed it to him with the outside of his left foot. But it didn't look comfortable. It was a decent strike, but easily over the crossbar. Not who you really want it to fall to in the penalty area. But at least with De Ligt, he gives you that almost bravery to go out of his position of the three centre-backs and go and join in.
Well, that's Dean Ashton, the former England striker, here in North Lincolnshire tonight. Grimsby leading Manchester United by 2-0. And as Jason Cundy clears his throat, the lines are open on 03717 223344 for the sports bar. A United fans, your reaction will be fascinating tonight. Is this the straw that breaks the camel's back? 03717 223344. Reminder as well, we've got the final Premier League game of the weekend Sunday night at 7 as Villa take on Crystal Palace. It's in addition to our usual 12:30 Saturday game, Chelsea against Fulham. Champions League draw for the league phase takes place tomorrow at around 5:30. It's going to include Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, Spurs, Newcastle and Chelsea. And European football expert Kevin Hatchard will join Drive to analyse the draw as it happens. And we'll also have the Europa League and Conference League draws taking place on Friday at around 12:15 and 1:45 respectively. Grimsby work the ball forward here and the offside flag is up. Gardner flicking around the corner for the run of Rodgers, and he goes out of play for a free kick. I think one of the primary differences tonight, Dean, has been confidence. It's a difficult commodity to get. Grimsby unbeaten this season. United, as mentioned earlier, 20 defeats last season. Coming into this one on the back of 4 defeats in the last 6 games in League and Cup, and confidence has really been a factor. High ball in here, Burmo heading it down, and it's cleared from in front of Pim. Good play by Sweeney, and then the overhead kick attempt is completely missed. Grimsby cleared it halfway when Maguire has headed it down. Kobbie Mainoo can bring it forward and flashes one in from distance, but probably a couple of yards wide. 2-0 to Grimsby. No jeopardy at Oxford though. Ian Abrahams.
Oxford 0, Brighton 6. Tommy Watson's last moments in a Sunderland shirt put him in the Premier League. He's just curled in his first Brighton goal here. Oxford 0, Brighton 6.
Great night for Hertzler's Brighton. 6-0 up there. A double change imminent for Grimsby here. Clark Odwall, midfielder, come left back, signed on loan from Bradford yesterday. And he is going to be coming on very shortly. We're also going to see Cabia, who's scored 4 goals in his 6 games so far this season, having ripped it up in the National League South last year, firing Truro to the Championship. Ball deflecting inside the penalty area. It's another chance. It's free, but the flag is up. Gardner turned away, wheeled away in celebration. He thought he was onside, but Matthew Wilkes had the flag up, and Manchester United's blushes are spared.
Well, I think Grimsby thought that it came off a Manchester United player last, and that's why Gardner should have been onside. It was a wonderful finish in off the inside of the post. There must have been an offside player with that initial first pass, because again there wasn't many complaints from the Grimsby players.
Well, he scored in round 1. That's one of only 2 goals that he scored in his senior career. Thought he had another there. So Cabia is going to be coming on. It may well be Cabia for Gardner as a straight swap up front. He's run his heart out. He's done really well tonight. Well, bearing in mind that he doesn't start in the league team for Grimsby, but he's been superb this evening.
And what he's done is he's used his attributes. He's just constantly running behind, hasn't he? Against Maguire, he's caused him quite a few problems because of that. Maguire doesn't particularly like to have to run into the channels and lacks a bit of pace. Well, Gardner's just shown that throughout the whole game and deserves this standing ovation that he's getting.
Yeah, he's got a good future ahead of him. As I mentioned earlier, he's a Geordie by birth, but has recently declared for Scotland. And the 19-year-old comes off, and Jays Cabia is on to replace him. And the other player coming on is Clark Odwar, who hasn't seen any senior football since back in March. The former Leeds and Barnsley man who's on loan from Bradford. And he comes on to replace an exhausted-looking McEachran, who anchored that midfield quite superbly. So McEachran off, Odwar on for him. A very versatile player. He can play over on the left-hand side, but playing in a deeper-lying central role here. Now making his way forward as Grimsby have the opportunity with Brown, who's over on the left. Right-footed effort from him. And Ahmad got in the way to block it. It's out for a Grimsby throw, but 17 minutes to go.
How are they still creating chances? When Manchester United are 2-0 down and should just be peppering the penalty area of Grimsby, and they're not. I mean, it's unacceptable, really, when you've got the players on the pitch that Manchester United have.
Corey trying to get inside the box for Cabia, who both scored and missed a penalty at Accrington at the weekend. The ball's actually gone out before the cross of Corey came in, and is a Manchester United throw. Tail of the tape's actually pretty level. I mean, XG's almost identical. United have had twice as many shots and twice as much possession, but they just haven't forced Pym into anything like enough work. He's made one really good save. He's made another couple of solid 7, 8 out of 10 saves, or saves from 7 or 8 out of 10 attempts on goal. But he hasn't put a foot wrong tonight, but he hasn't had the examination that he would have anticipated.
No, and how have they not got control of the game yet, Manchester United? How are they not dictating the tempo of this second half? That's the worry that you'd have to have.
Mainu to Brian and Burmo. Burmo towards the edge of the penalty area, and there's one back, his first in Manchester United colours, as he was allowed to run towards the edge of the box, and he just opened up his body, fires it past Pym into the bottom left-hand corner. A lifeline for Ruben Amorim and his Manchester United team. It's 2-1.
And there's the quality. That's what you're paying the big money for. There's players like Mbermo that once he gets in those positions, he's calm, he's composed, he didn't rush things, he sensed that Grimsby were backing off, and he just waited till that perfect moment just to release that. He just passed it into the net. He just passed it along the wet surface. Pym didn't move because he just used one of the Grimsby players to arc it round him along the floor, right into the corner. It's a terrific finish from Mbermo. And now we're going to see Grimsby tested, I'm sure.
Finish of a man who scored 20 Premier League goals last season, which earned him the move to Old Trafford. He's only ever scored one League Cup goal before tonight. That was for Brentford against Forest Green 4 years ago, but he's halved the deficit here. It's Grimsby 2, Manchester United 1. The goals from Vernon and Warren inside the first half for the Mariners. Burmo's goal in 75. So United will look at this now and think that there's certainly ample time. No extra time, of course, I know you're aware. And goes straight to penalties on 90 minutes if the sides are level. De Ligt having to make sure with every back pass that you're not in danger of leaving it short, because it's not going to scoot through to the goalkeeper after the amount of rain that we had over a 20-25 minute spell. That's stopped now, but the plumes of spray are still visible. Brown trying to bring the ball forward down the Grimsby left, has lost possession. Ahmad will work it out to his right. He's continued his run forward here. Ahmad, a man who's had late cup heroics in the past in his Manchester United career. Remember that game against Liverpool? A long cross that's far too deep there. Goes straight out for a goal kick, which will be taken by Pym away to the left. 2-1 to Grimsby with 13 minutes to go. Let's go back to the Hill Dickinson. Everton, Mansfield, Steve Hothersall.
Everton still with that slender lead. Everton 1, Mansfield 0. New signing Tyler Diblin given his chance in midfield for the Blues. He's looked classy. Beto also on. He's missed 2 chances already. The Mansfield captain, Louis Reed, has gone off injured. Charlie Alcaraz's goal the difference. Everton 1, Mansfield 0.
Fulham 2, Bristol City 0 in stoppage time. Brighton 6 up at Oxford. And Rangers 6 down in Belgium against Club Bruges. Down to 10 men they have been for most of the game. More action on the Grimsby bench. Rhys Staunton is going to be coming on, the Irish left back that they signed from Spennymoor Town. So he prepares to come on.
But this is where you are genuinely tested. You know, to put in the work that they have done, the intensity that they've played with Grimsby, and then you concede the goal and all of a sudden you feel more tired, your legs start to feel a bit weaker, the mind isn't quite as sharp, the organisation isn't quite there, and this is where Manchester United have to sense it and realise that every minute will feel like 2 to those Grimsby players, and just be patient, just build the momentum if you can, and the goals will come for Manchester United. They just will with the quality that they've got on the pitch.
Substitution for the Mariners, show appreciation, leave the field. It's number 5, Harvey Rogers.
Well, Harvey Rogers is the man that comes off, the right back, and Staunton, who's a left back, comes on. So Sweeney will just switch flanks. And Jacob Sweeney, the player aside from Leyton Orient over the summer, now playing at right back for the 11 minutes plus stoppage time that remains. Finished at Oxford. A massive win for Brighton. Ian Abrahams with the details.
Yeah, Oxford 0, Brighton 6. There were 2 up at half-time, Brighton, with Bosaglu curling in the first and Gruber in the second. The second half belonged to Simas off the bench to score twice. Tommy Watson also scored, and the other goal came from Gomez. One-sided, not really, still made some good saves. Brighton comfortably through, though. Oxford 0, Brighton 6.
So Brighton take their place in the draw. We'll bring you news of that draw, which follows the conclusion of this game. It's during the sports bar, and you'll hear that draw here on Talksport, as well as your reaction to what at the moment would be a Manchester United defeat. We're 10 minutes from time. Grimsby 2, Manchester United 1. Ball is over on the Manchester United right with Dallow, who's now on the right of the 3 centre-halves. Forward to the United goal scorer, Burmo. He plays it down the line where Ahmad is just crowded out of it very effectively by Staunton. And Staunton with a long clearance. Maguire going up for it, beats Cabia in the air. Play forward by Bruno Fernandes. Grimsby trying to win it back, and Odwall's been able to do that because he just got his body between Fernandes and the ball and then got caught. And it's going to be a free kick to Grimsby as United get Joshua Zirkzee ready.
Yeah, for his first minutes of the season for Manchester United, I'm sure he's very frustrated not to have started this game and been given a chance and waited this long to come on. But he does have a chance to come on and be the hero.
Yeah, probably more frustrating when you consider he was the only player of the 9 substitutes they had at the weekend who didn't start tonight. And he's had his injury problems, of course. He's on, or will be in a moment, for his 50th United appearance, 28 of them as a sub. Mason Mount clipping it inside the penalty area. De Ligt trying to deliver a low cross from the left-hand side of the box, and again Grimsby are able to deal with that. Mount, has it gone out of play? One of the Grimsby substitutes warming up claimed that it did, but the assistant referee more significantly didn't agree. Now it has, and it will be a Grimsby throw, and that will give United the opportunity to make the change, and Zirkzee will come on. Zirkzee for Ahmad with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, so possibly a back 4 incoming with Zirkzee, unless he's going to play right wing back, which he's not. And Burmo looks like he might go out there, and Zirkzee in as the right-sided 10 as such.
So Zirkzee on with 8 minutes to go. Full-time at Craven Cottage, Ollie Kling.
It's finished Fulham 2, Bristol City nil. An own goal from George Tanner put Fulham in front early on before Raul Jimenez fired home midway through the first half. Easy street for the Premier League side who go through to the next round. It's finished Fulham 2, Bristol City nil.
The first defeat that the Robins have suffered under Gerhard Struber. The ball with Mainu to Zirkzee. Back from him to Maguire. And Maguire goes out to the right-hand side for Dalot. United coming forward again. Bruno Fernandes looked as though he's sold short. He was able to flick the ball inside the penalty area. It's ricocheted off Burns. Goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the United left. They've never lost to a fourth-tier club in the League Cup, Manchester United, but they're only 7.5 minutes away from that happening now. And they've conceded a free kick that Grimsby will be in no hurry to take. They've won the last 5 ties against lower division opposition in this competition without conceding. They were taken to penalties by League 2 Rochdale in a game that we brought you on Talksport back in 2019. You might remember a game at Old Trafford. Grimsby on the verge of making history. They're 7 minutes away from being the first fourth-tier side to beat Manchester United and eliminate them from the League Cup. Mount. Down towards Cunha.
But again, with the time left, that's still plenty of time with a team that's visibly tiring. The players you've got on the pitch as Manchester United, keep the ball. Don't just let it go out of play aimlessly. Just keep that momentum, build. Just wait for a mistake or a bit of quality when your players got a bit more space.
Copenhagen on the verge of tomorrow's Champions League draw. They're 2-up at home to Basel and 3-1 up on aggregate. That draw, I remember, tomorrow here on Talksport. Ball is with Dalot over on the Manchester United right. Play forward towards Burmo. Now worked between the lines by Fernandes. Oh, the ball held up. Šeško trying to get through the penalty area. Challenge on him by McJanet was fair. Not how the United fans saw it in the Osman stand away to our left. No complaints from Benjamin Šeško. But the ball was played through and all of a sudden just stopped. A massive puddle catching the ball. Šeško first to react. McJanet did really well to recover.
Yeah, he did. But also Šeško couldn't really get it through the water that was on the pitch also and never really had control of it. He's been quiet in the second half, Šeško. Not really had a sniff.
Because of a lack of service, Dean, or down to him?
I think a bit of both, actually. He's looked like he's tired slightly in the second half.
Zirkzee. Mainu. Atom Burmo. Burmo on the right-hand side of the box, clipping up a ball towards the far post. Mount was coming around the back to attack. It's probably De Ligt that got there ahead of him. And the ball has gone out of play for what's been given as a corner. And covering defender at the far post for Grimsby, able to get it away. It was Burns who has picked up a knock. He's hurt himself in making a very brave and crucial intervention.
Yeah, he did. And he had to be there. Well, he took a whack in the back from De Ligt, who thought he was about to get a free header until Burns just dived in front of him to head that away.
In comes the corner, very deep towards the far post, headed down, cleared off the line. Maguire trying to poke it back after his header came close, and Grimsby somehow smuggle it back to Pym. Still 2-1.
How? Absolute cling film on the goal. It just seemed like Maguire was just going to head it and he bounces out. He volleyed it back towards goal. There was another body there. It's just ridiculous how that didn't go across the line for Harry Maguire and Manchester United.
Oh, they're within touching distance now, Grimsby. 4 minutes plus stoppage time. There'll be a fair bit to be added. I mean, it could be that there's still 10 minutes of action left in this game yet. But when the clock ticks into the 87th minute, as it just has, and you're a supporter, certainly if you're a supporter in the away end and you see that, you'll think that this is United over just about. United have fouled Corey in the midfield, and the referee produces a yellow card for Zirkzee. Maybe more than a flailing arm that did some damage there. The free kick has actually gone United's way. Hard really to decode all of that because there's so much excitement here that the Grimsby players not involved tonight, standing up right in front of us. As soon as anything happens, any flashpoint, well, then your view's as good as ours. But it is a free kick to Manchester United, which Bruno Fernandes is going to take. 3 to go. Fernandes takes the free kick short, finds Dallo. Back for Fernandes again. Right-footed ball clipped in. McJanet heads it away. Back to the edge of the penalty area. Grimsby hoping to win the seconds. Poke it clear. Not very effectively. Well won back by Cunha. Cunha inside the penalty area. Sliding challenge from Sweeney. Concedes another corner.
Oh, they're doing everything though, aren't they? They're giving absolutely every last ounce of sweat that they can, this Grimsby team. Diving in, blocks.
Latest Manchester United corner hit him very deep. The referee has blown his whistle before the ball was kicked. He's not happy with the jockeying for position that is going on. And so the corner's going to be taken again. United with nearly everybody forward. Anana's inside the centre circle. Bruno stands near the edge of the D, arms above his head. Everyone else in the box. It's hit him very deep, and the referee again is not happy with the pulling and shoving that is going on. And has shown a yellow card, I think, to De Ligt. Has also shown a yellow card to one of the Grimsby players for his part in that as well. And so they'll try again, the third time of asking. Reece Staunton, I think, the Grimsby player involved. Another corner, send him very deep, and the header's in. It's 2-2. It's Maguire stooping at the far post, and he's been able to nod it in. And Grimsby have got within 90 seconds of 90 minutes with their lead intact. But Harry Maguire ties it up. It's 2-2 at Blundell Park. They're out of jail.
Well, he is one, isn't he? That never gives up. No matter his own performance, his team's performance, you know you can rely on Harry Maguire to give absolutely everything. That desire that he's got, especially in the opposition's penalty area, to get his head on the ball. As he stooped at the back post to head it, whether it took a slight deflection to go in, we're not sure. He's so close to the goal at that back post, but it was his ball to win, and he made sure he did, to bring Manchester United level.
Well, he's only seen 15 minutes of action this season before tonight, Harry Maguire, a player that has scored some important late goals for the club before. A couple of very notable ones in Europe. And now it's 2-2. And Grimsby, having had a 2-0 lead for 45 minutes of this game, now will feel that they're going to be holding on, I'm sure, through stoppage time to get to penalties. Will they be able to get themselves back on the front foot? That's the challenge for them. We've got 10 seconds to go before stoppage time. Throw to be taken on the Grimsby left near the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. Fourth official David Webb with the numbers board in his hand. We'll find out in a moment how many extra minutes are going to be played, and it is 5. Ball with Staunton. Over on the Grimsby left, it's gone out of play for it has been given as a Grimsby throw. Let's get quick news of a goal at Hill Dickinson, Steve.
Everton 2, Mansfield 0. Better on the 88th minute on the end of a lovely move. It's all over for Mansfield. Everton 2, Mansfield 0.
So Everton, Fulham and Brighton through. We still don't know who's going through here. As a cross comes in from the Grimsby left, and it drifts over Anana's bar and straight out of play for a goal kick. He's in a real hurry to get on with it. Crowd tonight, 8,747, of whom just a shade under 1,200 have travelled to support Manchester United. Mount chasing a ball down the Manchester United left. It's not to waste. 2-2. United have scored twice in the last 15 minutes of this cup tie to get back on level terms. Brian Burmo level the edge of the box. Chance to deliver from that right-hand side. He's taking a deflection. Pym trying to flick it away, and it's gone to Grimsby's safety. Now ball played forward. The KBA will chase after, and he's there ahead of Maguire, who then gets his body in the way to be able to divert the loose ball back to Anana. Good defending in the end.
Yeah, he did. That tested Maguire there with the pace of KBA on the right-hand side, but he just read the touch, didn't he? But Manchester United looking for the winner now.
Mason Mount. Right-footed ball curved inside the penalty area, and it's headed away. The last time that United lost to a non-Premier League side in this competition, Mason Mount was on the winning team. That was a night that went to penalties. And playing on loan at Derby from Chelsea. some 8 years ago. He's won his side a corner here. 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. Grimsby 2, Manchester United 2. But all United, they look the more likely winners now. Will Grimsby hold on for a penalty shootout? They will more than feel they deserve. Ball curves just over De Ligt's head and has gone out of play for a goal kick. 2.5 away from penalties.
Yeah, they're pushing on in Manchester United. Grimsby out on their feet, giving absolutely everything, but it was always going to be a test. The last 15 or 20 minutes with who Manchester United have on the pitch, but it'd be still some effort to take them to penalties for Grimsby. League 2, remember.
Rangers have been beaten 6-0. We'll get full-time details from the Jan Breidel Stadion at the end of this game, as the ball is cleared from our left-hand side by Pym. De Ligt just ducks down, heads the ball back. Warren then heading it on down towards this near touchline for Burns. And Mason Mount has won the throw. Burns thought it was a throw the other way, and there's just a little bit of pushing and shoving between Mount and Burns as a result of that. Throw taken quickly. Fernandez back for De Ligt. Maguire, whose 89th minute equaliser, seems destined to take this game to penalties. David Artell arguing with the fourth official about the validity of that decision for a Manchester United throw. They've now got another throw, this one over on the far touchline, the right. Everton have beaten Mansfield 2-0, so they, along with Fulham and Brighton, are through. High ball towards the edge of the Grimsby penalty area. Sweeney can sweep it away. Didn't get as much distance on the clearance as he would have wanted. Burns chasing after a lost cause in the midfield. Runs into De Ligt, who disparagingly waves him back to his feet. United able to bring it forward here. There's no foul on Curry. Chance for Mason Mount to deliver. A cross is deflected, headed high up in the air. It bounced down for a United player again inside the penalty area. Back out for Mount. Chipped in towards the far post. Another excellent defensive header gets it clear. Well defended by Sweeney. We're in the last minute of stoppage time. 2-2. And Burmo back towards Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes turning, left-footed shot. Grimsby with enough bodies in the way. De Ligt through a crowd. Handball shout falls on deaf ears. It was from the Grimsby fans against De Ligt, I think. Here's Burmo, another opportunity to come into the Grimsby penalty area. Cutting it onto his left foot, clipping it in. Chance on the turn for Šeško. And another one. Tries to get the ball down, and he's fired over the bar from 4 yards out. Šeško and De Ligt getting in each other's way. Shot on the turn, and it clears the bar. And that's going to surely take us to penalties.
Well, whoever it was, whether it was Šeško or De Ligt, they're 3 or 4 yards out. I would love to tell you which one of them that blasted it over, but there was a big head in the way. As Grimsby fans just desperate not to see that nestle in the back of their net. It bobbled around in there, and Šeško or De Ligt, either of them couldn't get the caress touch into the back of the net and blast it over.
It would have been very harsh on Grimsby had they conceded a winner to United with what would have been the last touch of the night. Christy Pym clears, and that is that for now. We've played 90 minutes, and the Mariners, despite the fact they conceded 2 late goals, get a standing ovation because we're going to penalties here at Blundell Park. Vernon and Warren in the first half for Grimsby, and Burmo and Maguire in the last 15 minutes for Manchester United. 2-2 after 90 minutes, and the penalty shootout to come here on Talksport.
Jim and Dean, for now, thank you very much. My goodness, what a second half that turned out to be. A fight back for Manchester United, but not necessarily one to be proud of in terms of that 90-minute performance. We'll take you back to the penalty shootout in just a moment to see who will book their place in the third round. But let's run you through the full-time results of the 8 o'clock kickoffs and take you, first of all, to what, as I've mentioned already, had turned out to be a terrible, sorry evening for Rangers at Club Brugge. Paul Mitchell.
Bruges 6, Rangers 0. Rangers in the history have never lost a game by more than 6 goals. They were 6 down after 50 minutes but somehow survived without conceding again. Max Aarons was sent off after 8 minutes. Rangers were already 1 down to Tizolde's 5-minute goal when he pulled down Tizola's for Well, no idea why, to be honest with you. A flurry of goals before half-time. Vankanen, 2 from Says, and Stankovic made it 5-0. 1 goal in the second half. Christos Tzolas scored it, but somehow Bruges didn't score again. Russell Martin in deep, deep trouble. 6-0 on the night for Bruges, 9-1 on aggregate against Rangers.
Paul, thank you very much. And Everton took on Mansfield at Hill Dickinson Stadium. How did that one finish? Steve Hoddesall.
Everton 2, Mansfield 0. A classy finish into the top corner by Charlie Alcaraz kept the Stags at bay before a second poked home by Beto in the final minutes put Everton through. This was frustrating on the whole for the Blues, and Mansfield made life difficult for Everton and showed why they're on a roll in League One, but they never really threatened to cause an upset. Everton into the third round. Everton 2, Mansfield 0.
Steve, thank you very much. We'll run you through all of the full-time scores once this penalty shootout has been completed. But let's take you back to Blundell Park there, where Dean Ashton is alongside Jim Proudfoot for this shootout. And Dean, maybe just quickly get your thoughts on the thinking process of a shootout. What happens in this conversation that they would have been happening with their respective managers?
Well, you would have expected that, a lineup almost of the penalty takers would have been decided, that they would have done something in training leading up to this cup competition, knowing that after 90 minutes it could go to penalty. So there should be that in place anyway. But then might, because of injuries or players having gone off, there could be a slight change in who wants to put their hand up and want to take one. And then it's about going through your process. But look, Manchester United they've come back from 2-0 down, but ultimately they could still lose to League 2 Grimsby. So this is so important still that they get through this penalty shootout. So actually, there's more pressure on Manchester United than there is Grimsby. This would still be a massive shock for them.
It looked as though the Manchester United conversations took place pretty quickly in terms of what is going to happen in this penalty shootout.
They have got a bit of attacking talent on there, so I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have many that would turn it down. And they've got Harry Maguire, who we know can rattle one in the top corner too.
This is very true. As for Grimsby, they've been deep in conversation with David Artell, their head coach, and they still remain in a big conversation, in a huddle. And what's the thinking of a penalty, Dean? How do you go about it?
Well, ultimately, you've got that walk, which is horrible for anybody, trying to keep your concentration, the silence. You can feel the murmurs and the nerves from the crowd. So it's about having that composure. And hopefully, you have done the work in terms of a process that you then don't change, that you stick to it, that you can control your breathing, and don't look behind the goal. That's one of the things that we were taught very, very early on, is do not look behind the goal. You're all only concentrating on the net and the positive thoughts of scoring.
But see, that's
it's a big moment first up.
Go on, Jim.
It's a big moment first up for Jace Cabia, because Cabia missed one at Accrington at the weekend. He had a penalty saved, and he's going first for Grimsby. Penalties taken in front of the home fans away to our right-hand side, in front of the pontoon stand. So Cabia against Anana. First penalty of this shootout. Cabia, right-footed, sends Anana the wrong way. And that'll be a sigh of relief. Having missed one on Saturday, he scores an important one tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't massively convincing. Was there a slight touch as well that Anana got on that penalty from Cabia? But it's just relief. And also, with going first, it's vital that you get yourselves ahead and put the pressure on Manchester United and Bruno Fernandes.
Cabia missed one on Saturday. Bruno Fernandes missed one on Sunday. The penalty that he blazed over the bar into the Hammersmith end at Craven Cottage. He's going first tonight for Manchester United. He scored all 6 that he's taken in shootouts for the club. Sharp exhalation of breath as he stands on the edge of the penalty area. Absolutely stone dead still. Runs up and tucks it into the bottom left-hand corner. Really well taken penalty. 1-1 after one apiece.
Well, naturally, he would have been concentrating fully on the contact of the ball. Obviously with a slight eye on the goalkeeper, but really did whip that across to the left-hand side into that bottom corner. A superb penalty from Fernandes.
Well, Grimsby beat Bradford on penalties in the League Cup last season. They had one defeat on penalties in the EFL Trophy. Darragh Burns didn't take one in either of those games, but he's going next for Grimsby. He's spotted the ball down. And the first penalty to be taken left-footed. He stands hands on hips near the edge of the penalty area. Full pace run up, little momentary hesitation that committed Onana, and he slots it straight down the middle. All the penalties scored so far.
Yeah, again, with those that go down the middle, you are counting on the goalkeepers to dive one way, which the percentages would tell you they do. And Burns just calmly putting it down the middle. And again, keeping that pressure on. That's what they have to do, Grimsby.
And it's going to be another Manchester United substitute to take the next one. Brian Mbeumo, who scored his first goal for the club 15 minutes from time to get United back into this game. And Mbeumo against Pym to tie it up at 2-2. And that's an excellent penalty. Slotted low and hard into the bottom right-hand corner with Pym diving the other way. And didn't need to put it too much into the corner. It's relatively central. And then Mbeumo catches the eye of Onana and just tells him to make sure that this is his moment. 2-2. And here's the Grimsby debutant, Clark Odwar. 48 hours ago, he wasn't even on the books of Grimsby. Now he has the chance to give them the lead in the shootout against Manchester United. Odwar spots the ball down and then wasn't happy with its positioning and wants to adjust it. Now the referee has a word with him. And he runs up, a little jittery run up, and it's been saved. Great save from Onana. Dived to his left, stuck his right hand up and tipped it onto the bar. He's not had a great night, but that's a big moment for Onana.
And usually if you go high, you score. Especially with the power that Odwar put onto that penalty. Massive props to Onana to get across, and the firmness of his hand to make sure that it didn't buckle and pushed it onto the crossbar. Superb goalkeeping.
Mason Mount to go next. Last time United lost in this competition to a side outside the Premier League was in a penalty shootout in which he scored, and he's done it again for United tonight. Pym went the right way, but he was beaten by pure pace. Really good penalty. So after 3 apiece, it's 3-2 to United.
And so important, isn't it, to take that advantage when the opposition miss. Mason Mount there, looking as if he's going to whip it, and then it was a really firm side foot into the corner of the net to put the pressure now on Grimsby.
All but one of the penalties we've seen so far tonight have been taken by substitutes. This one, no exception. It's the Irishman, Rhys Staunton, left-footed, and Onana goes the wrong way. So they're back on level terms in terms of the scoreline, but United still have a penalty in hand, and Dallow will come forward to take that one.
Yeah, Staunton, that was excellent. Again, acting as if he's going to smash it, and then just the side foot into the opposite corner and sent Onana the wrong way. And now they're just hoping, aren't they, that their goalkeeper can make a save or one of the Manchester United players miss.
So Dallow will go next. Dallow, another player with an excellent record, 6 out of 6 in shootouts for Manchester United, taking what is often the critical 4th penalty. And he hits it right-footed, slots it into the bottom right-hand corner with aplomb. That's another really good spot kick. And United are nearly there. They're 4-3 up after 4 penalties apiece. And if Onana saves this, Manchester United have escaped.
Yeah, again, superb from Dallow. Stepping up and just probably seeing that Pym went early and just side-footing it into the opposite corner.
Henry Brown has only played 6 senior games in his career. Massive moment and responsibility for the 18-year-old who gets it past Onana, who went the right way, but he got enough power in to be able to squeeze it under his hand. So it's 4 apiece. And Mateus Cunha will step forward now to win it for Manchester United.
Oh, I'm pleased for the young man. That would have really hurt for him, wouldn't it, mentally? He'd have missed that, but he took it well, firm. Onana couldn't quite keep it out.
Mateus Cunha has never won a League Cup tie. But if he scores this penalty, Manchester United have escaped Blundell Park with a victory in the shootout. And he's seen it save! Pym dives to his left. Poor penalty from Cunha. Wasn't into the corner. Wasn't at a great height. Wasn't hit hard enough. And Pym saves it. We're into sudden death. It's 4-4.
We'll add that to the long list of stuttering run-up miss penalties. No power, not the direction. Too busy looking at the goalkeeper rather than getting the contact right. And Pym took advantage. He read it and made a brilliant, vital save.
We've had 90 minutes and then 10 subsequent penalties, and there's still nothing between the sides. Cameron McJanet for Grimsby. And the roar tells you everything you need to know. In past Onana to his left. And now it's Zirkzee who has to score. And you'll remember the FA Cup 5th round tie against Fulham last season, where he scored the penalty that was, where he took the penalty that was saved, that saw United crash out. So it's Zirkzee against Pym. Can Christy Pym save 2 in a row and write his name in Grimsby folklore? Zirkzee's got to score to keep United in the League Cup, and he's done exactly that. Pym committed himself when early, and that's a moment of personal redemption for Zirkzee after that miss against Fulham last season.
Oh, that was calm. Really calm from Joshua Zirkzee. Just to send Pym the wrong way, firm again, made absolutely sure into the left-hand portion of the goal.
Well, we're now very much within the vicinity of players that didn't really want to take one. Geza Toure is going 7th for Grimsby. It's 5-5 in the shootout. Toure for Grimsby runs up and sends Onana the wrong way easily. He's only saved 3 now out of 23 in shootouts for Manchester United, Onana. So Toure scores, and now it's Kobbie Mainoo that has to score and reply in kind to keep United in it.
Yeah, Toure, again, how good it feels when you send the goalkeeper the wrong way. It didn't need to be in the corner, and it wasn't, but it doesn't matter. But we talked about Mainoo before the game, and now he's really going to feel that pressure.
Kobbie Mainoo puts the ball down, and the referee's not happy with where it is. Mainoo has to adjust it. This is a massive pressure moment. Kobbie Mainoo, great penalty. That's arguably the best of the lot. When you consider the context of it and the pressure that was on his shoulders, everything that's going through his mind on a personal level at the moment, with his future undecided, he has pinged it into the top right-hand corner. So we're still dead level, 6-6 now, after 7 each. And the next one to come forward is Jaden Sweeney.
I mean, that was brilliant from Mainoo, by the way. What a strike with the pressure on to make sure you absolutely hit it so clean. Brilliant from him for such a young player.
So Jaden Sweeney, a left footer. Onana stands stock still on his line. Now bobs up and down and is sent the wrong way. And again, he goes early. Just made it easy for Sweeney. So, the latest United player to try and get them out of dodge is Harry Maguire. He's done it once within the confines of the 90 minutes. An 89th minute equaliser from Harry Maguire. Now he has to score this penalty. It's a routine that he will have gone through many times. First one that he's taken in a shootout for United for 4 years. He scored the last one. Looks nervous. Still, there's a long hole. Now he runs up and blazes it down the middle into the roof of the net. Another outstanding penalty. And the ones under real pressure laid on from the players that don't want to take them have been excellent.
Yeah, they have. But I would trust Maguire. The penalties I've seen him take, I think he takes them with real conviction, and that was the same. Real power, great direction, high into the net. And again, more players that probably didn't expect to be taking them.
Well, Corey, in that penalty shootout they won last year, went 9th and scored. He's going 9th again tonight and scores, although Onana got a strong hand to it. But as his momentum saw him fall away, it's come off the palm of the hand and just looped up slightly and gone in.
Well, it was similar, wasn't it, to the one that he palmed onto the crossbar. It's just this time he dived too far, couldn't quite reach back with that right hand and parried it into the middle of the net.
It's 8-7 to Grimsby. And Matthijs de Ligt is the latest Manchester United player to take the long walk forward from the halfway line with the weight of the world on his shoulders. De Ligt with the longest run-up yet. Right-footed, and Pim just went down to his knees, gambling he was going to go down the middle, and it went close enough to the corner to easily beat him. It's 8-8 after 9 each.
Well, I think he thought because De Ligt took such a straight run-up that he wasn't going to then arc his foot into the corner. Instead, he just thought he was going down the middle, like you said, went to his knees, and De Ligt delighted just to then side-foot it into the corner.
Tyrell Warren, Manchester-born, was the player that gave Grimsby a 2-0 lead after half an hour. He's the last outfield player to take one for Grimsby, and again, just gives Onana the eyes and sends him the wrong way. So after 10 Grimsby penalties, they've scored 9. The 9 penalties for United, they've scored 8. And the last man forward to take one is Benjamin Šeško.
Which is mind-boggling, by the way. Absolutely mind-boggling how he's not further up the order.
Šeško going 10th for United. And scores. Again, side-footing the ball, right foot into the bottom right-hand corner. And it's gone to the keepers now. So it's Onana and Pim. First up, it will be Christy Pim, who saved one from Cunha to keep Grimsby in it. That would have given Manchester United the win. Now Pim against Onana. Superbly done under pressure. Coolly, calmly rolls it into the corner, picks up the ball, throws it to Onana. Remember David De Gea missing the decisive penalty in the Europa League final once. Onana with a languid run-up, and he's drilled it into the bottom right-hand corner, and we will go round again. Still in sudden death, but it's 10-10 on penalties.
Some of the players just having a quick stretch. Getting a bit cold out there. It's going on for so long. And by the way, I mean, goalkeepers are basically outfield players now anyway. Two superb penalties from the goalkeepers. So calm, sending each other the wrong way.
You've never seen a more languid run-up than the one that Onana has just delivered. OK, so let's go round again. 10-10 after 11 penalties each. Back to Jays Kabia, who scores. So many are going into the bottom right-hand corner as we look at it, with Onana diving the other way. So Kabia scored. Bruno went first the last time round for Manchester United and will do so again. So Fernandes making his way forward. Remember, missed one at the weekend. Has very confidently stroked home his penalty in this shootout tonight. But every United player that is taking one at the moment has to score to keep United in it. It's a 3-pace run up from Bruno Fernandes. Christy Pim saves it. Grimsby have won. Fernandes again waits, collects his thoughts, addresses the ball and rolls it behind Pim and in.
Well, again, it's with the players going round again. Can the goalkeepers remember which way each player went? Do you stick to that same penalty again as a player? We're sort of out of the realms of any practice any of these players and goalkeepers will have had.
You get very, very few penalty shootouts that go all the way around again. I think I've only ever seen one before. Next up, it's Dara Burns. So Grimsby keeping the same order. Burns left-footed, and Onana got close, but couldn't keep it out. He went the right way. It's gone almost through his grasp and in.
Well, he dived the right way, didn't he, Andre Onana? But the pace was on that from Burns. That's the key, usually, is the pace on the ball to stop the goalkeeper making the save. He was a bit unlucky there, Onana, because he guessed the right way, but it was just too powerful.
Nerves have certainly taken their hold, but the Grimsby fans find their voice again, trying to intimidate Brian and Burmo. And Burmo with a little jogging run up has missed. It's hit the underside of the bar, and Grimsby Town have knocked Manchester United out of the League Cup. And there's a pitch invasion, about 500 strong. The Grimsby players are engulfed. It looked for all the world as though their chance had gone. They blew a 2-0 lead in the last 15 minutes. They were behind in the shootout, but Christy Pym saved from Cunha, and then Burmo, a myriad of penalties later, smacks one off the underside of the bar. Rod Temperton, the brilliant songwriter, was brought up round the corner from here. But let me tell you, Grimsby's never seen a thriller like this one. His most famous song could have been written about tonight, because this has been a horror show for Manchester United. They got themselves back into it. 2 goals in the last 15 minutes of normal time. Their noses in front in the shootout, but Grimsby held their nerve. They've beaten Liverpool and Spurs in cup competition in the 21st century. Now they've beaten Manchester United, who still haven't won on this ground since 1905. They will never, ever forget this night. And I promise you, Ruben Amorim won't be forgetting it either. It has finished. Grimsby 2, Manchester United 2. Grimsby win it 12-11 on penalties.
Anybody still got the nails left? What a penalty shootout. And my goodness, Grimsby and Cleethorpes, they will be celebrating long into the night after this fantastic victory. 2-0 up. 2-2 Manchester United fought back to take it to this penalty shootout, but 12-11 is what sealed the deal for Grimsby in the end after that Brian and Burmo miss. I mean, Dean Ashton, I don't know where we begin with it really. We don't have much time to analyse it. As much as, you know, Manchester United would have been happy to have got it back to 2-2, even if they'd won this on the penalty shootout, there still would have been a lot of questions, but there will be a load of questions going Ruben Amorim's way on the setup, the system, and how it's all gone wrong tonight.
Yeah, let's not make any mistake. That's an absolute shocker for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim. I mean, like you said, because now the whole performance is going to be analysed, and every decision that was made, the players will be looked at, of course, all because of losing the penalty shootout. It comes down to spot kicks, but he shouldn't have. All the talent were here. Nobody left at home. All those big names are on in that second half, and they weren't able to do it. There's going to be big questions, but this is Grimsby's night. There's no one that would have really given them a hope before the game. They put in an incredible team performance and fully deserve to enjoy this too.
In the sort of more recent history, York Southend, MK Dons and now Grimsby have eliminated Manchester United from cup competitions. In fact, the last time they were in round 2 of the League Cup, they were knocked out by MK Dons. They're out then of the League Cup. They have no European competition, Dean, this season. Not really in the conversation at all when it comes to the title race. So really it's only the FA Cup that they have to play for when it comes to a trophy this season. I mean, already it feels as though the season could be over.
It's got a horrible feel about it, hasn't it? Of course. And you're right. No European football, no midweeks to worry about in particular. And so why aren't you playing a stronger team from the start? You're putting 2 kids alongside Harry Maguire to start the game and giving players that have hardly played a minute and aren't match fit plenty of time in the game. And ultimately it's cost them, because it was that first half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where they came unstuck against Grimsby, and the manager's going to have to answer questions about that, and so have the players for their attitude in that first half. It's a bad night for Manchester United, and one that, you know, it's going to take a little bit of getting over, and all of a sudden even more pressure now at the weekend against Burnley.
Very much so. Dean Ashton, thank you. Jim Proudfoot, thank you too as well for what is a memorable evening at Blundell Park, where Grimsby have beaten Manchester United in a penalty shootout to book their place in the 3rd round of the League Cup. Just to run you through